It is a strong laner. We've seen like good combinations. He did play it once or twice. Let me just double check that real quick. Because it looked pretty okay when he played it. He did play it against OG, which they did win, and then that game against Team Liquid, the first game, it did look very good until they shut him down completely. Like playing into Razor, playing in some of these bad matchups. In this one, in theory, he should not be struggling. It's the explosive damage, it's the gap-closing hero. This is something that Gyrocopter doesn't like to play into, has a repositioning tool as well. But there's also a bit of a repositioning tool as well coming out from MOUZ, and also Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit has been buffed. I see it more and more in pubs as well, where people are playing it as a position 4, going for the saving build with the Blink Dagger, Ether Lens, Yule Scepters. So you're just being very annoying.
They'll have to be able to catch him, and they do have some good catch here for Vici. I'd say good catch and save. If you go to the Bushwhack, Disruption there for the Shadow Demon and maybe the Roar to work with. Rebound, of course, and the Dispose. So a lot of options there for Vici. A lot that can get right into your face, right? If Navi aren't too careful, a Timber Chain on top of them, and then you've got the Beastmaster Roar if he's going into the Blink Dagger or anything like that. But of course, with Marcy these days, you are going to the pick-me-up facet, so you'll bring in a second hero. Spear away, roll in. Wise in some trouble, but not going to get hit up too hard where he's able to survive and pop that salve. I feel like both these teams do have a lot of tools at their disposal. It's just going to come down to somewhat the execution. Zad's right on top of Y. And will immediately take care of that sentry. But overall, this bottom lane, other than that first blood, seems pretty quiet for the time being. The roll in and the spear, a little bit of miscommunication, I would say, on wanting to get the roll and maybe the spear afterwards.
It's like Panel talked about this being the easy to execute type of a lineup. In theory, yes, but also you have skill shots. If you misuse the spear, if your rolls are not connecting, your Sunray is not dealing the damage, or missing out on the Fire Spirit, there's a lot of these abilities that are not like, I click on a hero and it does stuff, so you need to be aware of how you're going to be using it. I see that Bach does have Ring of Health in his quick buy that he can turn later into many different things. You are playing against Gyrocopter, so that could also be just casual Vanguard for now, or you can turn that into Veil of Discord later on if you don't want to be going for Vanguard / Crimson Guard because you are playing against Gyro. But I do think that buying auras in this game should be very good. Getting Crimson, getting Pipe. I also mentioned the Blade Mail if he wants to go that route. I think that'd be really okay because you have so much uncontrollable damage. And later on, maybe Shivas if the game goes late, but yeah. I think they're not going to be lacking any kind of damage. Beastmaster can definitely go for Shivas from the mid lane, but you have good scaling. Like we've seen Beastmasters kind of solo take over the games if they're off to a good start. And you're playing against Storm Spirit, who does have the most CS at the moment, but Beastmaster, he is catching up. Especially if they decide to rotate to Niku's lane pre-level 6, they could definitely grab a kill.
Speaking of builds, I'm kind of curious to see what Riddies goes for based off just that last series, right, where Kaori was going into 3 different builds on the Phoenix, and one of which being, of course, going for those said auras. You've got Mars on the team. Are you going to be going for the auras on Mars? Are you going to be going for it on this Phoenix? What do you really want to accomplish here with this Navi build, potentially? And speaking of mid, now Niku's in some trouble over in this lane. Zats comes over to help out. They had the disruption. They also had Hoodwink there, but they're unable to get this kill on the mid.
Yeah, no Bushwhack, which means that we're unable to get anything done. Some damage is going to be dealt to the tower. Zayats now trying to play aggressive onto Y.
Not much that Y can do. He does have a disruption in a second. Might be able to at least pick up the bounty, and it doesn't look as though Zayats is going to be able to go for more. He'll order up a Blood Grenade and a Salve, get back to a decent amount of health, but for the time being, it's just been Shiro PMA 1v1 over in the bottom lane, which is not too bad for the Marcy overall, who's third on this list in CS.
PMA used a lot of mana. He just used 200 mana to deny the money creep and also stopped him from playing aggressive. So he doesn't have much mana to work with up until he gets the Soul Ring.
That'll be flying out, and he'll be grabbing onto that. Shadow Demon does come back over, but this is just allowed really Earth Spirit to be out of the lane. PMA having it solo feels really good when you can just give your offlaner that dedicated farm. And giving that dedicated time to just take over the lane. Zayat's only level 2, so he does need that solo experience to try and catch up a little bit. But they've pushed Storm out. He's not even here to go up against XM at all. They'll bring this Hoodwink back over, try to maybe get a kill. Storm TP's back in. And it's going to be around that 6-minute mark where you're looking for that first power rune. But XM's got Roar. You got to be very careful if you're this Storm Spirit. Of course, you've got 6. You can ball lightning. You can move around the map pretty well. But that will be the amplified damage picked up by Zayat, and that won't end up being a power rune for Vici, who were kind of controlling the lane up to that point.
They want to get XM off to a good start. There was a... Wasn't there like a stat a couple of months ago when he was still playing for Xtreme Gaming that when he doesn't die... Or was that... No, that was actually for NTS, I believe. That if he doesn't die in the first like 6 minutes, they have 95, 98% chance to win a game.
PMA bottom lane, by the way, getting some of the Shadow Poison stacks on him. Can they line it up? Can they get him another time? Maybe a fourth. It's not enough damage. Shiro was looking. They're still trying to find this last Shadow Poison, but now the rebound, the kill. Shiro finally finds PMA. And that's going to be a big opening for them bottom. There's nobody here. They could invade the shrine. Planet's trying to stick with it. XM's coming through with the help of Box, so Zad's trying to get a kill on a Planet, but he just won't find it. As a neutral creep will get the kill instead, and Y's going to get the other shrine. So both shrines going the way of Vici. They're putting the pressure on pretty early. And
very good start. Like, this is the power of Marcy. You do get that relatively early. Helm of the Dominator allows you to play super aggressive. You do play with that 6-minute catapult. Allows you... Because they got the kill, it allowed them to kill the tower, which opens up the map a lot. Like, this is not something that, as an offlaner, you want to have, especially this early on.
Roll on a Bach. Rocket Barrage. Bach taking a lot of damage here, and he looks pretty dead. Pretty's going to get credit for that kill.
Too much damage from that Rocket Barrage.
Got the juice. Sipping up some damage there. And XM just continuing to work mid. Nothing really pressuring him at all. The real winner is truly Shiro, and they might just get a kill on Niku, who's got no mana left. Neutral creeps get another kill.
They're not too happy about this one. No gold for them, and at least they are invading. Like, this opened up the map quite a lot. Mid lane is also very low, so they can play around that. There is haste available on Beastmaster, so they should rotate the heroes, potentially rotate Shiro as well with the dominated creep to make sure that they can kill this tower.
It's a weird feeling when neutrals have more kills than you do, though, on your team. 2 for Vici, 2 for the neutrals, 1 for Navi. Maybe they can get more. Soon to be on a killing spree for the neutrals. But Shiro's got this early helm, no surprise. That's standard for these Marcies that are in the 1 position, or really in the core role. And PMA still trying to get more out of the lane, and you can see he is ahead of Bach, but pretty much even in terms of offlaners. What's the idea here for Mars? Is it a Blink build? Are you looking for something else from him, knowing that you've got maybe a little bit more reach with Storm and Earth Spirit?
I'd say Blink Dagger, because you want to be playing with both of them. Like, you want to be setting things up for the team. The good thing is, whenever you play Mars, is when you don't have to be the solo initiator of the team. When everybody's relying on you to land the arena, start with the Spear Arena, it kind of feels really bad. But if you have somebody else to just go in, maybe create a little bit of a chaos, which allows you to go in second, that's a really good for Mars. Just not, like, create chaos, I mean, try to make them go on you, and Storm Spirit is the perfect hero for that. There is Arena committed. Hero.
Got the juice, making the TP. The Spear's going to be towards the end of that arena. They got the roll of the call down coming through. Marcy nowhere to go. Shiro top net worth hero being taken out by Got the Juice, and he's going to be taking that top spot in doing so. And they even it up 2-2 to the neutrals, too. And this is Gyrocopter having a really good start. Both these carries are having a good time. I mean, there wasn't really much to stop Gyro or Marcy in the lanes that they went for, and a lot of the movements have been away from these safe lanes. Hit about that 10.5 minute mark. This has been both teams, for the most part, content with just getting farm. And why not, right?
Yeah. We haven't talked too much about Beastmaster. He's been farming almost on top of the net worth. This hero farms extremely fast. Haven't been involved in a kill yet. But XM still gonna have a good timing on that Aghanim Scepter. Needs 2 more components, and then it does open up Roche. With Marcy especially, you can bring like 1 aura. You have explosive damage coming out from Marcy, and it seems like there's gonna be a twin gate rotation. They wanna be going potentially for this tower, maybe finding the enemy carry, but he is not farming in that area. Or he's just deeping in.
They might catch him, and he might be in a bad spot. He wants to go for Bach. He's throwing some flat cannons on. They know
Bach is
pretty much where he's at. So Planet's going to come over. This Bushwhack's going to land. They'll rebound forward, unleash, and get the kill on a Got the Juice. So just the way that Got the Juice got Shiro, Got the Juice got up top.
And that should be the tower. They are having numbers in that area. And also, I did mention that Bach is super tanky. He has 2,000 HP on Timbersaw. Vanguard, Power Tread, Soul Ring, all these like small stat items, has Polywog Charm. And we'll be going for these auras that we were talking about because it does make a lot of sense. Most of the damage that they do have is magical. Get the pipe first, even though Vanguard is like in between, which he's going to turn into Crimson later. They're going to hit a pretty strong timing with this Beastmaster, Ags, BKB on Marcy, and potentially Pipe being finished on Timbersaw.
Going to be some time till that Pipe. I'm looking over. Mars is going to go for that Blink that you were talking about. Blink BKB.
Yeah, I think it's necessary. There are abilities that go through debuff immunity, but he also wants to play with the heroes, with the both spirits. He wants to jump in, make sure that they get the good jump. They can choose the target that they can go for. Of course, Marcy being maneuverable, so is Timbersaw, and then you can go in, lock onto a target, and try to kill it. And he's also, have in mind, playing with Victory Feast Facet. So Shadow Demon could potentially get saves inside of the arena, but I do prefer this Victory Facet overall better. It gives you the heal, it gives you the damage, whoever is inside of the arena. With Phoenix behind you as well, potentially Sunray, and you get that extra bit of a burst of a heal, allows you to get extra damage. Maybe you get another kill inside of the arena. Just feels really good.
Another Phoenix that's gone hotspot too.
Yep.
Not that dying light. Which has made me curious about what Phoenix is going to eventually queue up. As we saw in the last one, that hotspot with the Aether Lens was the call. And by the end of that game, Sunray was across the entirety of the screen. I mean, that's how far away you can really make that impact as a Phoenix. But this Phoenix not really having similar priority, I would say.
No, definitely not.
At all.
There's definitely a difference. Kaori was the one who really pushing the limits, going for always the extra wave. He was getting some priority in farm, and he definitely delivered in the previous series the way he played. A lot of the times you will see Phoenix just left alone in the lane, because this is the hero that is difficult to kill. There's a good turnaround potential if you rotate one more hero, and they have very good heroes to rotate. They have very good protection for the egg as well. You have Mars, you have Earth Spirit, even Storm Spirit, who can close the gap, come in quickly. Maybe get a pull, the egg goes off, and then the fight is kind of over. So for now, Navi continues to farm up. They're waiting for their Blink Dagger on Mars. They are waiting for... Like, Gyrocopter doesn't need, like, he never waits for one item. He will always join. This is a very active carry, building into all of these smaller items, like Dragon Lance. You are getting Manta Style, which is a bit of a newer build as well. XM, he's under the sentry, but
yeah, gonna fight him anyway. They've got the roar, they have the Ags, they'll get the kill, they'll take the life of Got the Juice, and he was kind of sitting there stationary and gets picked off. It's the second time they've caught Got the Juice in this area. They made the movement over once that Ags was picked up by the Beastmaster. But now, that being said, it might be time for Navi to want to make a move. They've got the Blink Dagger on Mars, so when everybody's back up, they might smoke and try to go, but they've got to have the vision down to get the information to make a move like that. We'll see what they plan to do next. But XM He's at a solid start, and it's opening up the game for Shiro quite a bit, who's sitting top of the net worth. It was close, got the juice when he got the gank over bottom on Shiro. He had taken over that top net worth spot, but you can see it here. Gyro's not exactly having the most fun. He shows up back top, and he might just die again. MOUZ is here with the arena as well as the spear. XM's gonna be in a lot of trouble. The Sunray's on him. Bach gets the kill. PMA's got 2. So got the juice, he's got some help. And man, they are gonna put the straw in the juice box and sip on tight as they get 3 kills here for the side of NAVI.
That's why I love this facet. It allows you to get that extra burst of a heal. Even though Sunray was only level 1, maybe level 2 in that one, it's just insane amount of heals. All these smaller things, they're starting to add up. Suddenly, you get like 200, 250 HP, and then you get another kill. You get the extra bit of damage. Nicely done by NAVI. Even though it was close. If they lost that gyrocopter, it would be not kind of even, but I think Vici Gaming would be okay with this type of a trade.
Trying to get in on Arides, and Icarus dive not out of the range of Shiro, who uses that unleash, closing in on the BKB that he needs. Beastmaster, of course, wants the Blink to have that initiation with the Roar. Storm has been given some space in second of the net worth. Kai Assange for him, but XM knows it's time with Shiro as well as Innocence to go for Roche. But do they let this go for free? They're going to go for Roche. They've got the Drums of Psalm, but this is just a long-range initiating team that can make this so difficult. If Zayats can find the angle, similar to a Clockwork, he's just looking to find that spot that he can get in with.
Off of his mana pool, already gone.
Bach just standing forward. They never make that move in, and it's an Aegis for XM. NAVI, they looked, but they never went in. They stayed behind the glass, and it was only a sight to see. Bach, Vortex pulling him into the spear that gets thrown over to the tree. The rolling boulder hits, and they will get the kill onto Bach.
You are tanky, but you're not. The whole squad is hitting you type of tanky, at least before the pipe. If he had pipe ready, maybe he gets it off, he gets the magic one, gets another timber chain, would be able to connect potentially with the rest of the team. NAVI having the lead in this game now, finally.
Taken over a little bit. But this is the item timing that they wanted for Vici. I mean, usually what you want when you feel like you can kind of get heavily involved for Marcy, right, is that BKB. So can you find your moments to get in? We'll find out right now. Pulling PMA a little bit further from Shiro, though. Zayats is here to help. Shiro's in with the Unleash. Arides is nearby. And they're still thinking about going in, and they're going to rebound right on top of 2 heroes. BKB gets popped. PMA's in trouble. He'll end up dying first, and XM's here with the Roar. The Roar pushing Arides back into the hands of the other heroes. And now Zayats is dead to Shiro. Double kill for the Marcy. It is just kills impacts for both teams back and forth.
Mars, he was toying with them. His Blink Dagger was ready the whole time, but he was a bit slow. Was not expecting that jump, I guess, from Marcy. Could have blinked away. Had Arena. Also didn't want to pop it, since like they were maybe trying to get some bait going. TP rotates to their tier 2 tower if Gyrocopter wanted to come, but actually got the juice. TP was on cooldown, so he couldn't come and participate in that fight.
Taking advantage is Vici. They'll also take the triangle. They continue to steal some of this farm away from NAVI.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Continuing to just get kills like this, and now it's Shiro looking Ags, man. He has gotten the space. He is at that 10,000, almost 11,000 net worth spot. He feels almost complete. Bach again in the top lane, though. Arena placed, and Bach tanky-ish, running away. Y is already dead, but you said it, whole team tanky. Is he? Not by himself, but now he's got some help. As Beastmaster showed up for a second, so they don't give chase. XM, he's got this Aegis for another 2.5 minutes. Thought about maybe initiating it.
No Arena, no cooldown. It's gonna be smoke time. XM has Aegis, has Region Rune in the bottle. Let's see what they can find. They still haven't managed to kill this tower. This is like 20 minutes we're talking about, even though they brought the numbers a couple of times. XM can't find the opening. Couldn't find that Primal Roar.
Maybe Planet can find the Bushwhack. Maybe they can follow this up. XM throwing these axes, thinking about jumping in, but, well, they won't commit, and he'll just be able to escape. That's the tier 1 tower, though.
Yeah, they
finally picked up the pipe on Bach, too.
That's a big one. Instead of chasing, maybe getting a kill, they are very close by. They can definitely take that Tormentor. They need the damage from either XM or Shiro.
Favoring NAVI here on the odds up top, but now Tormentor. Who's gonna get this shard? Let's see who grabs it. It will be Y.
Demonic Cleanse, like both of the shards are really, really good. These are the shards, at least in Hoodwink, you want to buy. Demonic Cleanse, you want to get something before. But good ways of like extra bit of a heal and also dispelling some of the things. They're in a really good spot. Bach, he did die 3 times, doesn't have a single kill to his name. Ideally, you would want to have your Crimson Guard here. It's still going to be a good timing. Like he's still going to have it in the next few minutes.
Anything you want to see specific from him after those 2 items?
I think they will have the talk with Beastmaster, what he wants to buy, whether he wants to go for Refresher or if he wants to go for Shiva's. And if he doesn't, then he will pick it up. If not, then he will probably try to deal slightly more damage. Maybe get some Kaya Sanj, try to tank up, because he's having some mana issues as well.
Rebound, Sharpshooter, and a kill on Azaz. Also picking up the Shrine for Shiro. Is always nice when you can get a +1 and the opponent's Shrine. I look over at Earth Spirit, who just got this Blink Dagger. And he's got that long range with the Rolling Boulder, but now he's got Blink for even more mobility. Do you like the Blink Dagger? Would you have liked to see something else for this hero? You know, maybe see a Vessel or something, or is there anything else you would have liked?
I think it's a different hero right now, especially because Geomagnetic Grip can be used on allies as a saving tool. So you can close the gap with the Blink Dagger, you can keep the distance, and then play off with that, which I'm totally fine with. And he also has Tumbler's Toy. He has the greedy Tumbler's Toy, allows him to get some farm, doesn't necessarily need to show on the map, still getting the gold. BKB completed on PMA, that's the big one. Even though they have like 2 BKB piercing abilities, you have Demonic Purge, you have Beastmaster's Roar. It's still gonna come in handy. The damage, like between Gyrocopter, Storm, like even this Sunray from behind with the hotspot, you should be able to get the kill in the arena, get the extra damage, get the heal. And the reason why I keep talking about this facet on Mars, the Victory Feast facet, is it scales. Like Bloodsport doesn't really scale in terms of it gets better over time. It does with the duration of the arena, but this one is tied to max HP, your own max HP, and as game progresses, you will have more HP.
They got the Shadow Demon and will get that kill. He breaks that smoke initially. Bushwhack lands out of the Mars. Re-up from the side of Vici, thinking about going in on this. Sharpshooter being charged up. And that will land on a PMA. Bach, Timber Chain all the way across. BKB's gonna be popped. Geomagnetic Grip to pull PMA up out of the high ground, but he walks back down thinking about going in anyway. This BKB runs out. He doesn't really have many options anymore, and he just has to get out of dodge.
That's what they wanted to get. Force that BKB. He was very patient with it.
Planet is still searching, and he's got the vision but doesn't quite get the damage before the blink away.
Oh, maybe could have started with Road of Atos.
From that close of a distance, it might have ended up working out, but instead...
It is faster than Bushwhack. Arcee now with the Aghanim Scepter as well. That's gonna give her more control, and she's very tanky as a hero. With just these items sitting at 3000 HP, Defiant Shell synergizes really well with her toolkit, with her pick-me-up facet, where you get the Unleash.
Smoke by Vici.
By pick-me-up facet, Unleash, it's the old facet, it doesn't work anymore. It was called something different. And now Zayat's in the bottom lane. Let's see if they can catch him.
Might catch Niku. Roar is used, and they've got the Rod of Atos. They'll have the Bushwhack combination. Bach getting that kill, and then the rebound over. Looking to grab themselves another kill on Iridies, and that's going to be 2 for the side of Vici. Unstoppable for Shiro. Despite the fact that they were able to kill him before in the bottom lane a little whiles back, he's just been on a big roll here. PMA getting saved again by this Earth Spirit, and PMA able to get out thanks to the help of the Geomagnetic Grip again.
We're still yet to see a fight where Navi is bringing everybody to the fight, where they're using the arena, using Magnetize, and then just fighting with Gyrocopter, but still yet to see it.
Still without the gyro being seen, 65%.
Wait. What is this? What are these numbers? 65 for Navi?
Well, they're known as percentages. It's the kind of numbers they are.
I don't know, but they do seem wrong because I do favor Vici Gaming pretty heavily because they are the ones controlling pretty much everything. And again, we still haven't seen NAVI fighting 5-man strong, but these items that are coming out, 2 auras on Timbersaw, going for the item that we talked about. Kaya Sanj allows him to get like more mana. He is struggling with some mana, but Shiro is the one popping off, allowing him to go for the solo pickoffs with the Aghanim Scepter, having that extra bit of a control coming out from that silence.
Allows him to just be on top of Phoenix, not having to be afraid that he gets away with a dive or anything like that. So Bak has had the discussion. He's not going Shivas yet. He's going Kaya Sanj.
It's going to be Beastmaster.
That's going to be Beastmaster. Meaning that Beastmaster's going for that Shiva's Guard, which is something that you kind of expected that it was going to be the Beastmaster anyway. And now Shiro goes in on a PMA. Sharpshooter, dispose, but not the damage needed to get the kill, as there was a rotation coming in from the Storm Spirit, but just poking away. Looks as though Storm's doing the same. He's going Shiva's Guard, and that will be next for him. But is that what you'd like to see from Storm?
I think it's necessary. You are playing against Timbersaw, Beastmaster, when you want to be stopping that healing, provide vision for the rest of the team so that Gyrocopter can deal damage with the flak cannon, allows you to get a better jump in the fight. Got the juice. They're ready.
Up
but
to everybody.
Like just straight up almost
saved
dead.
by Zayats again. That was the grip pulling him out of harm's way. They get the Kona Planet, the Icarus dive over. They're going to lose Zayats. But now, Magnetize doing its work. BKB's been popped by Shiro. He'll jump away with a rebound, but they'll pick me up. XM turns on a Nico for a second. He's got the help of Bak. Not a lot of mana left here on the Storm Spirit. They're going to need some more help. For Staff, getting him back towards the Tier 2 tower. Got the juices low, but they all get behind the Tier 2 tower and will be able to escape what was coming from Vici. A very good save again from Zayats, and that is going to make sure that this Gyro survives.
That's why you're going for these items. That's why you're not picking up, you know, the old school build, going for the Spirit Vessel. You're more used as a saving tool, but you can also deal damage. You can be very annoying. This time around, Vici Gaming, they didn't bring the numbers. Bak was missing, so they didn't have these 2 auras immediately. I think the fight's going to be completely different. Mitigating the damage from the flak cannon is going to be pretty big. Roshan, Yaren did the respawn just now.
It is up, and they are TPing over.
They are underneath the vision. This observer board, even though they have sentry, seems like they can't see this ops. What is it?
There they go. They found it now. Call down's used. Niku's got himself the Vortex that's going to be pulling in the Marcy. Pick me up out of the pit. Now got the juice, has the way to get the Aegis. They snatch it up. They get the Aegis. It's there for the Gyro. He picked himself up out of the pit. Bak now between 4 heroes.
Oh no, not the pit me up. They the roar was ready, but they haven't used it. They're waiting for BKBs to reset, and now they're in.
Shiro losing that BKB. They get the Kona Niku very quickly. Got the juice going to be out of the arena, but XM's going to be the one surviving for now, but ends up dying just at the end of Radies. They'll take the Aegis out of the hands of the Gyro, but this is Shiro going after the Mars. Does he have the damage? Can he take down the Gladiator? Yes, he can.
Look
The
at the
silence on the
damage from Shiro.
Zayats. Bak gets the kill there on the Earth Spirit. It's godlike for Shiro, still fighting back out of the Gyro. Got the juice. Riddy's the only 2 left on the side of Navi. The Timber Chain forward. Can they find anybody else? Chakram's twisting, turning, and looking, but they go to the Supernova, and they won't be able to pop the egg. It's just Bak here. So surviving on the Phoenix. Got the juice, loses that Aegis immediately, but survives overall.
Man, that fight, how much damage was that from Marcy? Almost 8,000 damage coming out.
Sheesh.
Kind of salvaged the fight after what happened in the Roche pit with the Pick Me Up. Now they're going to have Daedalus as well for the next one. Taking away the Aegis and also managing to salvage that fight. But they are extremely tanky on their side. Having that extra bit of a heal, Beastmaster is very, very annoying. He also did pick up the Orchid, which Storm doesn't have any response to. He doesn't have any ways of dispelling that.
Orchid, the extra silence. This is tough for Navi. I feel like they were the benefits of a little blunder there, but can they make anything work with it? Because the net worth isn't that bad. It's not like they're behind a lot, but you could see Vici are the ones really controlling a lot of the tempo of the game. and now got the Juice and Niku are together. They'll find this sentry, they'll take out the Ops, they know they got the Juices right there, and instead of going for it, they'll pick up Innocence and leave that area. They knew a lot of heroes are there based on the information that they were able to gather off that ward initially. But now maybe go back in with 4 heroes around. What do you think is next for Bach? He seems set right now, but with the game he's having, what would you like from this Timber?
Maybe something like a Hex could do. Right now they have like limited amount of control. It definitely could work out. He's like extremely tanky. I don't think he can die right now. Those 3 deaths that he had early on, I don't think he died for the good like 20 plus minutes now. I also want to be seeing like right now, Shiro is going for a Basher, which is fine. I want to see what the next item for him is going to be. I think going for an item like a Refresher that gives him a double BKB and double ulti could, because you have enough mana pool. You don't use pretty much mana. You have like, what, Rebound? Your ulti is 150 mana, your BKB is 50. It's more about the Refresher and then getting the second round of items. So the stats definitely is there. You would need to replace your... Oh, XM gets a solo kill.
How do you get away from XM, right? You just roar Orchid. There's no way to roll away. Yeah, Timbersaw hasn't died since about 16 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the Roar Kid combo is too strong.
It really is. Vortex, Radavetos comes through. Niku, not a lot of mana already. Need to be very careful. Bach, like you said, feels pretty unkillable. Will continue to conduct himself in a way that he can stay forward on Navi and make sure that they really don't have a response. As long as he's in front of the Marcy, I would say that the fights definitely benefit the side of Vici overall. Get that special delivery. They've got that Basher, everything coming through for Shiro. They've got this gem. They'll take away a lot of the vision that Navi have around the map and just kind of shrink it overall. What can Navi do? It's tough, but their answer right now is smoke and look to make a play. They're on the opposite side of the map. All of Vici sitting towards top. As their tier 2 is going to drop, they'll have 1 outer tower in the bottom lane remaining. What's the game plan if you're Navi, Lacoste?
Oh, it's about the survivability. I see the gut to juice things he needs. Like, the damage is still not the issue, which I could disagree with that one. Maybe a casual Crystallis into Satanic would do. But sure, Satanic still gives you damage. It's just that maybe he thinks I need to be as tanky as possible. Because with this build, he's sitting at 4,000 plus HP.
Oof. That's a lot of HP. And he's trying to print some cash. Get himself as much net worth as possible. Spear back on a Shiro. Sharpshooter misses. And a Geomagnetic Grip on a PMA to try get him away from Bach. Blink, opportunity, and a roll. But are the TPs going to be out in time? They do get this Mars away, and her Spirit will TP out as well. Not too difficult to escape. Opening up a lot of space for the rest of the team as well. Guardian Greaves.
Yep, 3 big aura items. Planet, they'd opt to go for more tanky build. Wants to be as survivable as possible. Potentially to keep him alive and the allies, as long as they're fighting near Bach. Bach was toying with the idea of getting maybe Glippity Gloppity as his next item, but I did say that Hex sounds like overall the best option, seeing that they need the control. Let's say post BKB on Gyrocopter, he uses Satanic, you get a Hex on him, he doesn't get the value out of it, and then you can kill him, of course, against the Storm Spirit, who just now finished off the BKB to counter this Orchid, or that you can initiate before. Pre-BKB sounds really good. I also feel that Riddy's in some of these fights unable to replicate what Kaori has been doing with the Phoenix. I think the damage numbers from him are definitely on the lower side this game.
It's very tough, right? Especially with the addition of that Orchid for the Beastmaster.
Yeah.
If you get Orchided or if the Marcy gets in your face, you're almost guaranteed to die. And it's not like he's got the gold to get into an Aeon Disc if he wants to survive that way. Like, he just does not have as much net worth as Kaori would have at this moment of the game. And that's the tough part for him, where his survivability is quite low. Got the Juice hiding in the side with the rest of his team. Bach gonna show up, Flat Cannon comes through. Do they make a response? Do they know that there's a smoke behind him? Ooh, they're gonna make the kick. They're gonna look for Bach. They're gonna try and get the kill out of the Timbersaw. They might have it. With everybody here, he is still not that 5v1 kind of tanky. The rest of the team was close, but just not close enough to make a counter reaction to the move that Navi had gone for in taking out the Timbersaw.
Lens plus a Blink Dagger on Earth Spirit. This is basically like a punch hook in a way.
Without it needing to really be a skill shot.
Well, all you have to do is blink and kick. But he does have buyback available if necessary. Roshan's still not up.
Yeah, won't be up for another minute, 10 seconds. I love that that's accurate these days. I don't have to try and read that.
Oh, I remember back when you were trying to read that clock.
Niku goes in on Shiro, but they've got the Orchid. They go to the Primal Roar, the Geomagnetic Grip to pull him away from the side of Vici. And now with that, they can reinitiate. Arena comes in, the Spear's going to be off the mark, so now you don't have that lockdown planet. He's burning away the Sunray. He's trying to use that Sharpshooter, gets pulled over by Zayats again, out of position, away from the team. The Geomagnetic Grip is there to silence him. He's burning low, he'll end up dead. Now they'll find themselves another support in Innocence. So 3 heroes are gone, with Timbersaw respawning in a second. But this is a great fight from Navi, and they put themselves equal in net worth right around when this Roche is going to respawn in 30 seconds. Don't show me the clock. Guys, I can't read that. Analog is not for me. All about digital.
Almost there.
Are we sure? Are we sure? No, yeah. I know we're sure.
Supports don't have buyback. At least one doesn't. Shadow Demon does have it. Another kick.
Silence. Lock, jump in with the rebound. The spear doesn't land. Shiro now looking over at Niku, but needs to be careful. Doesn't have a lot going for him. Got the Juice gonna come around the side. Bach goes into the face of Got the Juice. Well, the Twisted Chakram right on top of him. Half health for Shiro.
Reset.
Back up, and this is like you said, these fights might happen where not many people die. They just throw a lot of spells and back away from each other.
And now Roshan is available. BKBs are coming off cooldown. Kinda, 25 seconds for Shiro. They want to have the full squad. They want to be having their auras ready. And now Timbersaw, after figuring out that he can die, even with all these auras, opts to go for a BKB instead. But the most important thing is everything is coming off cooldown. Unleash plus a BKB at the same time. Both auras on Timbersaw, so they're going to be fight ready.
We'll be the ones who want to make the first move on this.
There's a big problem as well. Niku, he does have regen in the bottle. If they don't burst him from 100 to 0, the fight's gonna last long enough for him to replenish that mana. It's also Whisper of the Dread. Storm Spirit with Shiva's Guard. Gonna be a lot of magic damage.
Quickened Idol of the Skriak for Bach. He's moving quite quickly. Niku spotted, lining in with the BKB. Shiro's gonna go into the backlines looking for the Mars. The Primal Roar's gonna push him away. PMA trying to run. Shiro trying to stick onto the Mars. They get the kill on Iridius. He's gonna buy back immediately. They get the kill on PMA. He doesn't have buyback. Dead for 80. So Got the Juice right on top of XM. There's the save with the disruption. Also rebounding off of him. Got the Juice gonna be pulled away out of the fight. Bach unable to stick there. But now, can they reset? Do they have the ability to go for Roche after this? They're gonna TP XM back home. And Niku's nearby, picks up a gem.
Picks up the gem. That region well used, making sure that he can die from 100 to 0. And Iridius forcing out the buyback on one of the supports. It does feel like XM isn't doing as much in the fight. I want to check that he's still doing the most on Beastmaster, getting close to his level 25, which is going to reduce the Primal Roar cooldown by 25 seconds and potentially getting close to Refresher. Then maybe in a fight you can use 3 Primal Roars, which is pretty massive if the fight lasts for long enough. If it reduces, yeah, it's like a 35-second cooldown. Like they're going in again. Shiro, no BKB for 25.
They did technically kill the last Roche, so it will roar. Give up that information that they're in the pit. Don't
They
want to
can
have
hear-
another mistake.
Yeah, they can hear Roshan inside the pit, but doesn't seem like they're going to be able to contest it.
Not this time around. He just picked up for Shiro, cheese for Bach, and the banner.
This is the big item. If he can get enough farm, I think at the time, he might just sell. Yeah, there it is. Sells Helm of the Dominator, picks up the refresher that I wanted to see. It just allows him to get another round of his spells, have another 6 seconds BKB. You can see that in some of these post 30-minute fights, he goes in and then he's afraid to go back in because he doesn't have a BKB.
Torm timer. And another shard. This time for the Beastmaster. So he has that upgrade to Dahak, and that'll be nice for him to have. Not one that you're really going to buy. But that'll check them all off eventually. I think Timber's got his, and Shiro's the only one without a shard, so the next Tormentor, if it gets that far and they get that one, still won't be given that big chunk of gold like it does when you've got all those shards already picked up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Game continues to sit close on a knife's edge between both teams. So we hit this 42-minute mark.
Radiant's
As
bottom tower is under
Timber,
attack. Radiant
like you said, you want him to have this hex, that extra bit of control.
Had to buy a BKB. He was forced to buy a BKB after getting killed by the whole squad because they don't have any BKB piercing tools. If they don't stun lock him from 100 to 0, he can get a BKB, he can get his auras, use the Timber Chain. Now even has cheese available, so gonna be much more difficult to kill him.
Marcy actually buying the shard
Radiant's bottom tower
before
is under
committing to the
attack.
Abyssal Blade.
I think because he sold his Helm of the Dominator, doesn't have the rebound partner of his own. Can't rely on his allies, of course.
Divine in 2 separate parts.
Ready to lock it in.
Lock it in. Gotta get it ready to go. Will that damage be too much of a problem for Vici? These are long, drawn-out fights that we've been seeing throughout the entirety of the game, but when you're able to get to now that level 25 where you've got that -4 seconds on Flak Cannon, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage with that. Primal Roar comes out to start, but the pull immediately from Zayats gets him out again. They try to make these moves, but Zayats is being such a pain in the ass. They are unable to lock down these heroes, and now they're going to go and get themselves the Marcy. They've got themselves the Spear as well as the Arena, but the disruption saved from Innocence. Shiro trying to fight back with the BKB. They've got the Roar once again. It's on Arides. This time, no pull, no save. Bach, low,
doing the work,
BKB,
amplified
starting
damage.
to run out, but
Out of mana now.
And they get the lockdown onto Shiro. All that help. He jumps onto PMA, gets the kill. Shiro's got that. He's beyond godlike. The Aegis was used. Bach right into the face, but they go to the kick. It's going to be under the tier 3 tower. And now they use that Magnetize. Lockdown
He's
with the
ready.
Vortex, and they get the kill on a Bach.
He assembled the Divine Rapier in that fight. No buyback from Arides. PMA does have buyback available, but seems like they're gonna want to reset the cooldown on BKB. Shiro, he died only once this game, but now they're gonna need help. They need those roars to connect onto this gyrocopter. He's doing way too much work.
Their biggest problem to me is Zayats. He is showing the strengths of this Earth Spirit hero. Every time they try to jump a target, they get pulled away.
It's a relatively short cooldown as well. It's on 10-second cooldown.
He's quite the fisherman. It feels like that's what he's doing. He throws out, casts the bait, and then Riddies gets caught for a second. He pulls him back in with the geomagnetic grip. And then the heroes on Vici try to chase him, and it's dinner for everybody. It's been served.
In a longer fight, it does feel like Navi is winning those because you have Satanic on Gyrocopter, these multiple saves that Earth Spirit is bringing to the pool as a tool, and then you have Storm Spirit as well, who is super tanky, and also he had amplified damage in the previous fight, dealing almost 10,000 damage.
Not a lot of gold for Earth Spirit, but would you want him to get like that Aghanim Scepter?
I don't think it's needed. I think he might go for Lotus Orb if he gets enough money. For now, just saving a buyback gold. Definitely needed.
wanting to be ready to come back into the game. Gets that buyback. He's been a lot of their save, a lot of their ability to keep these fights going and rolling and not losing somebody immediately on those blink roar initiations. But the team now sticking together towards bottom. Got the juice. Talked about that Divine Rapier, and now Aghanim Scepter for the Storm Spirit.
That's the big one. He goes in with Shiva's Guard, Parasma. He's also level 25. It will just allow the Gyrocopter. If he pulls 2-3 of them, it's going to be a big setup for the arena, potentially.
Shiro was the one who had the most farm for the most of the game, but he is, look at how far behind Gyro he is. Got the juice. 35,000 net worth. In a game in which that top lane, he kind of struggled for a second, got a little bit of help when everybody rotated to help him where he was going to die that back-to-back time, and that's really what I think saved his game initially, was that help from his teammates over in the top lane.
Yeah. He invested all of his gold. Shiro went all in. Abyssal Blade, he's level 25, with the Unleashed duration extended by 6 seconds when he gets a kill. Orchid. Earth Spirit is behind him in case they initiate with the Roar.
Could be seeing 3 roars in a fight with the way these fights drag on. You got that minus roar cooldown for that level 25, so it's 26.5 seconds.
With
that with the refresher and the arcane, yeah, it could be seeing a lot of roars if they fight with the arcane rune.
Dire are scanning.
But both teams kind of holding up and not committing too heavily just yet. Roche is 1 minute and 15 seconds from potentially spawning, giving time to these heroes to continue to farm, and Gyro with the Divine wants Aghanim's Blessing next, which is going to cost a lot of gold. He'll take some time to get there. And I think do you just commit out on it because you've got a Divine Rapier? You don't really hold your gold at that point unless you're getting yourself a second Divine?
I think that the idea is to have potentially buyback and Divine gold unless he can farm Aghanim Scepter, Blessing, plus the buyback gold.
Okay.
And then he can still, play, but yeah, with Aghanim Scepter, you can still lifesteal off with the Side Gunner if you are getting roared, twice. But there's also insane amount of saves that we've seen so far from Zayats on this Earth Spirit. Did one hell of a job.
There's been that conversation happening between these heroes because Timbersaw continues to go back and forth, floating the idea of Nightmare and Hex.
I noticed. Just buy Hex at this point. Like, you need it. The Gyrocopter, if he doesn't, like, post BKB, the fight is so much more difficult for him to play against Hex than to play against increased AoE and Road of Atos coming out from Timby.
Yeah, I think the idea was Hoodwink, who's also got Hex queued up, might be able to get to it, and then he could go Gleipnir instead.
Nothing wrong with double Hex. You can have 5 Hexes on a team, it's still gonna feel good.
I agree with that. As they sit even 50 minutes in. There's that Hex. He finally commits. So gets the idea, gets the item. And we'll see if that ends up being a bigger issue with these BKBs that are 6 seconds across the board.
Dire's bottom tower
Actually,
is
sitting
under
7 for Gyro, just so I can be 100% correct. Zayat's pausing the game. Some packet loss. Open it up, spill some sugar down. That's where you're losing some of that packet. But ready to go, ready to try, and ready to try and get some answers in this game.
The game did slow down. Like, we're seeing some fights, but not many heroes were dying, and Roshan is now available in the top pit. A lot of presence. Aegis, Refresher Shard, Cheese, and the banner. Smoke coming out from Vici Gaming.
That's kind of the Divine Rapier effect, right? You get this Divine, you don't want to fight as much even though you feel stronger. You don't want to be pushed into a fight that maybe is unnecessary. You want to take the ones that you need to go for.
Oh, they know. Dire just used the scan and it's still connecting.
Ag's Blessing
a couple of times.
Riddies up at the high ground. Radovatos catches him on the back end of the dive. And that's going to come in. Can he get the save? No, Riddies going to dive first. He's got himself the buyback. He also has this outpost to TP over to, so he's going to go immediately into that. use that Abyss Blade. The Primal Roar comes through. Got the Juice gonna try and fight back. They go to the Roar again.
Healed
Do
up.
they have
Shiro.
the damage? They've got the heal, the kick to get him out of harm's way. Shiro, XM both gone. Dead for so long. 3 heroes dead with Innocence falling. Bach and Planet. There's not much more for them to say. And they'll lose the gem, and the roll lands. Zayats again with the save on Got the Juice. Man, it is NAVI cleaning up. All they lost was Riddy's. He bought back, and that is going to be another MVP performance by the Earth Spirit.
Oh man, they used a lot to jump that Phoenix, who does have buyback available. This is BKB ulti Marcy. Sure, you extended by 6 seconds because you got the kill, but also Hex was used immediately onto him to try to grab that kill. Not sure if that was the right play. And we're gonna see it again because he started to run away, and you can see Bach like Riddy's immediately disappears, but the BKB from Shiro is running out, and then he's gonna be able to stand his ground. Arena comes in. He was not inside of the arena. He didn't get that initial heal. He didn't get that extra damage, but the Storm Spirit, he comes in. He's also the damage dealer. How many times have you seen mid laners just being like the real carries of the team once they get like Puck, Parasma, Storm Spirit with Parasma, Shiva's Guard? It is insane amount of damage, especially in prolonged team fights.
They don't have buyback on 3 of these heroes that are dead. They bought back on XM, but this is Zayats. He's just looking. He is such a nuisance. And XM trying to get back into the fountain is dead again. 2 minutes gone. And without the roars, without the options, they call GG. NAVI, great job bringing this one back, and they take game 1 over Vici.
And Zayats, finally, he can get the hands on his most played hero. This is his most played hero for a reason. The hero was not good for a very, very long time, but ever since we added mechanic that you can save people with geomagnetic grip, he's like, I did.
They're both gonna just go high octane gameplay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who is gonna come out on top. Game number 2 with B-Cup and Lacoste.
Thank you very much, guys. We come into game number 2 with NAVI and Vici. Another Vici game, another Marcy pick. They seem to absolutely be in love with this hero, Lacoste.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a game with Marcy against Kez. Like 2 carries squaring up against each other, but there's going to be a lot of brawl. And I was always a fan. This is the old school DOTA combo, Earth Spirit with Warlock, Fatal Bonds, then he comes in with Magnetized Pre-Pipe. It's going to deal a lot of damage. Zayats, he's inside of the pit.
Gonna go for the roll. There's the Fatal Bonds. And Y is in trouble. Fire Spirits is what he has queued up. And now able to survive. Catchy lick on an Iku. The turnaround coming through from Bach. He's got the trample on it, got the juice. They get the kill onto Y first as first blood, but a double kill for XM.
It looked good until it didn't. He was about to die on Phoenix, and he did. But the turnaround play was definitely there. Bramble Maze connected onto multiple people, and he was waiting to see what he needs to skill on Bach. Lightning Storm on Lash connects onto a couple of them. 2 kills for XM. Very good start. Let's see if he's bringing the bottle on the courier. He is immediately. That's going to be his extra region.
Zayats also stole that other bounty. I thought it was going to be 3 bounties, 2 kills for Vici, which would have been putting them in a very good spot. But, I mean, here anyway, when you've got yourself that early bottle for the Leshrac, you know, there are points in this lane where Storm's going to be without mana, and you've just got that extra sips of water to go for, and Leshrac should have the edge. See how it goes for XM, getting both those kills. But where do you see the most action happening? Which one of these lanes sticks out the most?
I'd say top lane. Planet and Bach definitely want to play aggressive. There is nothing that can stop Primal Beast from going in, so that's always a good lane for Primal. And always going to feel good, and he's dragging the creep wave behind the tower. Warlock needs to be careful. He does have 2 Fairy Fires. This is something that we are seeing nowadays on position 4s, on position 5s as well, so they can trade better. The turnaround potential is definitely there. Primal, on the offlane, he needs some kind of solo XP. He needs to be left alone. I want to see Planet maybe staying further away from the XP, just so that you can get that level 3 before the enemy, and then with 2 points in Trample and Onslaught, you could definitely grab a kill on Warlock.
We'll see what Bach gets, and if there's going to be many movements coming in for the Dark Well. We've seen them move to try and focus on mid before. But getting right into the face of Riddies, and Shadow Word on him goes into the Shadow Realm and will attempt to TP out. The damage not quite there to kill this Dark Will, who TPs all the way back home. So this will leave Bach alone, but puts Dark Will in a spot where now they've got to walk all the way back to the lane to even help out. So they'll be walking back up towards top initially. Meanwhile, XM, he bottles that water rune, gets a couple extra sips on that bottle. And Niku now has a bottle of his own, so the discrepancies between the bottles and one having one and the other not, no longer the case over mid. See this Largo at times go straight for the Soul Ring Ags, no little items in between. What are you looking to see, as it looks as though it's just queued up? Brown Boots, Soul Ring, probably straight Ags, none of those like bracers or anything else coming his way. So just focusing straight on that. You like that more than getting those smaller items?
I don't think I've seen many small items. Usually it's like phase boots, just to have that extra bit of move speed and the wind lace, so you can close the distance, you can stay away if necessary, have that extra bit of movement speed.
Right.
Nothing too crazy. I think Largo has been figured out in terms of itemization coming out from the off lane.
He's just getting himself not much out of this lane. He is 5-3 up to this point. Needs to really start to figure it out, because this is so far an okay lane for Shiro back on this Marcy, which is, of course, Helm of the Dominator. No surprise. You've got that pick-me-up. You're trying to get in onto these heroes, and there has been opportunity for them to get kills. I mean, Zayats has been sticking a little bit close, and you jump on him and maybe prevent him from rolling away. You can get the kill there. We'll see what Shiro attempts, but you can see top lane Bach taking a lot of harassment. He's still sitting half health, but he's got himself that early ring of health, and he's got that extra regen to work with to kind of sustain in the lane, and that might be the marker for Dark Will to kind of move over elsewhere.
Usually it's either you go for early Tranquils that you're going to be disassembling, or you pick up this ring of health that later on you can turn into... It's not a hero that builds into Crimson Guard by any means. You can... like, that's probably going to be saved for some like Shiva's Guard later. For now, it's just a casual ring that he's going to be keeping to have extra regen. You want to get Soul Ring, so it allows you to get that extra bit of it. This is a tough lane. I do like this Marcy as a response to Largo in lane, because this hero has no real escape mechanism. You have the Lick, which allows you to dispel some of the things, but if you're repositioned, if you're close to Marcy, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to survive. And Earth Spirit, he still doesn't have geomagnetic grip, so he can't pull you out of the trouble. And Vici Gaming playing around the mid lane.
You look at last game, and for Vici, it did feel as though 95% of that game was played well by them. It was just that last part where they let it slip so far that they ended up losing game number 1. They're off to a good start this time around. Planet trying to evade Niku and Riddies, but the Vortex, the Shadow Word, and the extra shot coming in from Niku to get that kill on a Planet and chase him all the way to the Tier 2, Tier 3 steps off over mid. Bach got the juice, not afraid to just put the damage on the Echo Slash, and just under the tower, Bach is dead. Got the juice, gets the kill. PMA in trouble again, and now the roll trying to get the saves. Can he help out PMA enough? Not looking likely. He gets the roll in, but overall, they still get that kill.
Big kill in the top lane. Allows, got the juice to get some extra levels. That was pretty much the solo kill. Riddies comes back to a lane. 3 Black Grimoire stacks. So that's going to be relatively early level 6 on Warlock.
Need to be kind of careful about how much you give it to the Warlock, but with Fatal Bonds and everything, it's very hard to make sure that he doesn't get anything assist-wise early on if they are getting those kills. Amplified damage picked up for XM, refilling that bottle, but also having that amplified damage to maybe go and get a kill. As that still sits just level 2. Not getting much experience from the game at all.
Hard lane.
Level 5 too.
Hard lane that they were playing into. You also want to be giving some XP to Largo so that he can farm much faster with the Frog Stomp. 30 seconds until the XP rune. Let's see how they're going to approach it. Primal Beast sitting relatively low. He just brought a healing salve. Not too much mana to work with. Has only one spell, either Trample or Onslaught if they decide to invade.
They put a lot of damage on this tower. Both got the juice, and Riddies kind of splitting the need to sit in front of the tower while it was just that catapult. So they both soaked up a bit of damage, made sure that the next creep wave came in, leaving the catapult alive and being able to put the damage onto the tier 1 tower. And then they just healed up with Shadow Word anyway. They didn't end up getting the tower, but it's down to about 500 health. Not a bad job by the two of them to just soak up those tower shots.
A lot of things going in correctly here for Navi. Their stacks getting stolen, their XP rune got stolen as well. Which means that Earth Spirit is gonna struggle. He is only level 3. At least Warlock has, as we said, 3 Grimoires charges, which is gonna push him closer to that level 6 if he wants to use it, and I definitely think that he will need to use it this game.
Yeah, it's not going to be one of those where you get 6 quickly, you can hold on to those extra charges, maybe push yourself to 12. It's definitely more of the get me to 6, get us a team fight spell active. Planet going to try and stack again to the 8-minute mark. Not going to be able to stack that. Oh, their camp? Ancients. We'll stack, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
As that bottom tier 1 takes some pressure, though, Glyph and PMA would love to hit that 6, and now he is on to trying to get the Aghanim Scepter for himself. All the power runes just being controlled here by XM. He got himself the regen rune as well. And it is just being all Vici as they go after PMA and get another kill into the Largo.
Another good start for Shiro. As expected, this hero is extremely strong, allows you to bring the items to the lane with special delivery. You get to that helm, you have extra regen, very good stats as well for universal heroes. So they killed mid tower, they killed bottom tower as well, pretty similar to what happened in the previous game. Let's see if they're going to be able to rotate, potentially go through the twin gates and try to pressure a little bit. The power of this Primal Beast as a hero is that no matter what, how bad of a lane he does have, all he needs is levels, which Planet definitely gave him by leaving him, and then you can continue to stack, and you can still get 11-minute, 12-minute Blink Dagger, Fate's Boot, Soul Ring, even in a losing lane.
Bottom lane, they'll go for Shiro, they get the kill, Riddies is there to take care of this Marcy. They use that Chaotic Offering, they have that level 6, those Grimoire charges, as they'll look to roll and land for more, but XM maybe thinking about getting the turn, doesn't land the stun, and now he's kind of
out of mana.
Land, and the Shadow Word is on him. They're here with the pull, they'll get the kill to XM, another kill for Riddies. A bit of a misplay and a bit of a blunder from Vici, giving up their 1 and 2, and most likely this tower.
Oh, we've seen that from Vici. Last 2 days and today, they kind of give away advantage that they do build up. Like laning stage wise, this is a very, very strong team, and then they have like one really bad move between 10 and 15 minutes, which kind of puts the game in a different direction that they wanted to. Suddenly, Navi manages to stabilize. You have this Largo getting levels, which he's gonna definitely... Oh, Shiro, he's in again.
Trying to go for PMA. There's the dispose. There's a kill. And yeah, definitely the series where he's been favoring this Shiro. And the Marcy has worked out at times, and overall he's got 23 games and a 60% win rate with this hero. But so it just, again, it's just like one bad play, like you said, that ends up putting them from being able to like take over the game and it just kind of sitting at this even level.
And again, Primal Beast, one of the best heroes in the game to clear the stacks with from the off lane. He used the smoke, used the trample, we'll wait for another one to clear. Like it's impossible to farm the ancient stacks with Primal Beast, especially if one of the boys, if the boys camp is there. I'm talking about ancient prowlers, you get bound, you can't move. It pretty much takes half of your trample damage. But he found a good neutral item as well. Cobalt Cup, Phase Boots, Windlace. This is what you want to have, plus Mystical, extra bit of regen coming out.
Jumping in, looking for Zats. He's only level 4. There's not much of a movement he can make. They thought about throwing the Terrorize, but Planet holding it allows him to roll away. I think they got a little bit greedy, thought they didn't need it, but now they'll land it onto the Storm, and with Shiro here, that ends up being okay. From criticism to praise. Good job with the Terrorize.
Very well done. Slowing them down again. Like, this is the type of a lineup that can get the ball rolling relatively early on, especially with Leshrac. Not the hero that we see the most. I feel like we could definitely be seeing Leshrac in more games, because the hero feels good. Maybe not so much. I think panel discussed about sitting at 100% win rate. That's a good stat over 2 games. But the panel talked about team fight when he tries to go in. Where's the follow-up?
Beta Bonds and the rebound out, and the stun on got the juice. Just an easy escape, but Bedlam right on top of Riddies. Catch you lick, Frog Stomp down, Sunray now hitting these heroes. Riddies gonna end up dead. Planet, he's still alive, rebound back in. Looking over at Zayats and getting the kill, as well as grabbing the Golem. So that'll be a good amount of gold for Shiro. And Navi, they rotate, they try to make something happen. This is all without the Primal Beast, and they don't get anything for their troubles.
Oof, those XP runes that were being stolen, Earth Spirit is still level 4. He definitely wants to be able to go in, connect with the Fatal Bonds, use Magnetize. That's the most damage in a team fight, and also Storm Spirit zipping in between the heroes, not connecting onto anything. It's all about stacking until PMA gets his Aghanim Scepter, so he can play these 2 songs. Same goes for Niku, and they caught Niku one more time.
Just not finding any escape for Navi, already down 5,000 net worth, and despite the blunder bottom from Vici, they have recovered and made sure to get back that advantage that they once had. This is a very quick Desolator for got the juice, but the question really becomes, is it going to matter as much if the rest of the team really is kind of floundering in a game like this? The Phoenix has as much net worth as the Largo.
Yeah, it's a bad sign. He still needs 2 components, but I feel like in the next engagement, they need to bring Kez. Otherwise, they're not going to have damage. And this is the blink reveal for Primal Beast. He goes in, gets silenced. Zayat saves him a bit.
They have to save this Shrine or get the other one. They just cannot allow themselves to not get the Shrine, and unfortunately, Planet's going to steal it, and it continues to put the Earth Spirit in a situation where he gets no experience. I mean, this guy can't have level 6. He can't even have
He's
level
not even
5.
I would just run to the other side of the map on their side, check if potentially there's a Shrine, because right now they are playing on a different side of the map. Shrine is active to be taken.
This is brutal. It's there. Zoom in, enhance. More. Closer. I need to see more details.
It's being pinged out. Planet is like, somebody go pick it up.
Somebody go get this. It's a beautiful area of the map.
It really is. Very nice addition of this tiny little bridge.
Ooh. When we look at it a certain way, the purple does show up, but it's kind of like not there, but on, off. Still waiting for somebody to grab it. It looks like a fish hook, that Shrine. The top part. Looks like it's there to bait you. And there we go. It'll be Primal who picks it up.
I do not see the fish, but I see Bach picking up that Shrine. And the net worth advantage keeps rising. They are keeping the good farm on their side. BKB about to be completed on Shiro. You will have Leshrac with Kaya. No new big item, but I feel they should still be able to take the fight. Niku getting bound.
Onslaught in, Riddies in trouble, gets the Fatal Bonds off, but no Chaotic Offering. Geomagnetic Grip out of 3. Zats is still just level 5. We'll try to roll to Freedom, but XM with another double kill. And that is just now a 7,000 net worth lead. They check for a ward, and it is all Vici still. And their hopes for Navi are all on this Kez.
He has to do so much. It needs to be him and Storm. Oh, nice dodge. 2 supports, the combo. We still haven't seen it in action. Like, don't underestimate the damage. A lot of details. I think this is the only thing on the map that looks worse than Morphling.
I was just about to say the same thing. But I like whatever's going on with the chin of that frog. Felt like it was at a nice beat.
I think it's the mating sound that it produces.
Like that?
Yeah.
There you go. I do good frog impressions. I do birthdays as well.
All right, I think we found What are these dots
That's
on top of it?
a caterpillar?
Looks like it.
Yeah. I like it. Looks venomous. We just need David Attenborough to be here as we look across all these animals that are in the wild. We'll find them eventually, all the animals hidden
Every
on the
single
map.
time I read news, David Attenborough, I'm like, oh no, he's dead. And then he's like, oh, he's doing a tour of Antarctica or something. Like, oh,
For Planet Earth
Oh, yeah.
Season 15.
17 minutes in. Let's see if Got the Juice ready. This Teso has been up for some time. Yasha as well completed. Not the tankiest hero. Golem is also available. Let's see if they're going to be able to maybe find some kind of an opening. Storm needs to start the fight.
Definitely does. And Zayat's level 7. He's got it. At least he's level 6 now. Pulverize. And he'll kick him away. Try to roll out. Get some space, but there's the blink and stopping the onslaught by rebounding forward, but Zayat's still trampled and killed. Not having that fun of a time with a GPM closing in on 100. If I'm doing my math, I mean 18 minutes, 2,000 net worth, it's kind of brutal. They will find themselves the Largo. The day the music died, well, that's today, as PMA dies again to Planet. Continue their onslaught, and it's an 80% win rate for Vici. These numbers, they seem calculated correctly.
They definitely do. BKB now on Marcy. Leshrak also very close to his BKB. Needs another 700 gold. So the damage, basically for the next fight, they might have 3 BKBs, 3 9-second BKBs, and most of the damage they have is magical, so they're not going to be carrying as much.
Oh boy, having just the dominated creep to have the extra lockdown on Aniku. Zayats is next. And that will be a double for Shiro, who's now on a mega kill streak. He's been loving this Marcy, and this is why he continues to show off with the 0.
This is basically 2 solo kills that he just did. I think if this game ends, coming into the game 3, they need to start thinking about removing this Marcy in the first ban phase, because even though they lost the first game, it still looked very good. The offlane just didn't get to play the game.
Onslaught in, stun connects, Riddies is dead, XM. It's credit for that one. They're continuing to move around the map pretty freely for Vici.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Vici having a very good game. And they're very glad about what's been going on in the first 20 minutes.
Couldn't find the combo yet. They're getting pickoffs with different combinations of heroes, and the map is getting smaller. Teso still no charges, which means that Got the Juice has not been involved ever since.
Every time they get their hands on some of these heroes on NAVI, they've got a violent gift for them. And Vici will continue as they go for the Tormentor. And the shard will be there for Planet. Dark Will getting that extra shard. Of course, Phoenix would have loved that, but it's a good one on Dark Will anyway. Hefty lead. All Riddies can do is just kind of faint out that chaotic offering. It's a fun thing to do.
Until you click it.
Until you mess it up?
Yeah. RP is one of the more obnoxious ones.
EKB purchased in full for Bach, with XM continuing to push the top wave. All these heroes kind of split up, blink back, and that's going to be a TP out from the Lestrak. Navi just cannot respond in time. How long until Vici want to pressure in? Because they could probably just go for Roche. That's exactly what they're going to do. Why not?
Not going to be a contest. Doesn't seem like they're fight ready. And this time around, Zayat doesn't have a Blink Dagger. Didn't find a GPM instead. He did find still a good enchantment. Keen Eye, the extra cast range for his spells. Problem is he is severely under-leveled. But there's not going to be that Blink kick potentially under the tower into the tier 4s once they start sieging the base.
Aegis for Shiro, XM top of the net worth. BKB finally there, forgot the juice. Is this the time where he's going to feel effective? Again, one of those biggest issues is the fact that it is just him against the world. And Planet, with the Shadow Realm strike, going to get another kill on Iridies. They try to get themselves a shrine, but it still continues to not happen.
Oh man, Iridies feels bored. Like, playing Warlock in a losing game is one of the more boring things in Dota. Shiro, he's going to be fine. He's holding on to the Aegis, but yeah, just to go back to what Iridies has been doing, fake bumping, chaotic offering, all chatting, like using voice lines, popping drums, trying to make something happen, and then going to the other side of the map and dying. And now he's gonna respawn. Because this is a team fighting here. I think everybody who played Dota or who played a hero like this in a losing game, it just feels like you're not doing like much. You can try to D-ward, yeah, you kind of want to go for the next one, but there's still a chance, you know, always gotta believe.
Gotta try and believe.
Problem is, these items are starting to pile up. Even Y is about to have
Raven's Veil, BKB, and the runaway from Bach, but they've got the Fatal Bonds to pulverize, and the damage onto this Primal Beast will eventually stack up, but they get the kill. Nobody responding here for the side of Vici.
Yep, not a bad kill to take. Let's see if they can get something else out of it. Seems like Vici Gaming, they still want to take the fight. 4v5. I mean, if you count in the Aegis, it's 5v5.
Just what you're saying with the fact that, yeah, it's a Warlock game from behind. And Warlock's got some good voice lines.
He definitely does.
Niku, oh, just avoiding the stun. He doesn't have a lot of mana. He needs to be very careful, but now out of mana and out of life. Got the juice, gonna come in with the BKB. He'll pop the egg. Does he go for more? He's not working with a lot of mana either, but he does have 20 charges in that wand.
He didn't blink.
Jump forward, and now BKB pop by XM. Stun connects. They'll look for the Terrorize. That hits on a Got the Juice. They've also got a Largo behind him, but he's not gonna be helped out, and well, they'll get the kill on the other three. So Got the Juice, PMA, Iridies dies, they shut down the guitar. There's no Raptor dancing here for this Kez. It's basically Beaumont, Utah, and this is the town of Footloose. I mean, music and dancing, it's illegal.
Oh man, XM just popping that haste, killing the Storm Spirit, and then running away. He did have Blink Dagger ready, but the rest of the team, they were connecting with him, making sure that the spells are gonna connect. Bramble Maze into Terrorize. And they just don't have enough. BKB was popped on Kez to kill the egg.
And then he went for more. But that's what happens when you're behind like this, right? You feel the need to try and extend for another one.
And also, an interesting thing, he did kill the egg, but he didn't get the Deso charge from it. Still, learning new things in Dota.
It's always a learning experience for me. Glad I could learn with you. Looking for a Daedalus for Shiro, and with that, just getting the tier 2 tower. And I mean, honestly, just the item progression is pretty simple, right? Like, there's no backstepping, there's no backtracking. Everything he's got has had a purpose, and there's not really much of an answer from NAVI to really shut this down. Not able to rebound down to the low ground. He's going to pop the BKB. They already used the Pulverize, and he's going to try and clean up the creep wave at least. But he's sticking around for a long time. Does XM have a way to stop the TP? No, they don't.
This was not well timed. If somebody was there, BKB did run out half a second before the TP completed.
If you're the side of NAVI,
I tell Iridies, spam those voice lines.
all right, you're reading my mind here. Got the Juice, tries to come in, walks into a stun. Chaotic offerings in with the BKB. Maybe he's got the damage to get the kill into XM, but he's just falling short, or no, he gets XM, but the Supernova, the Terrorize thrown out, and he's gonna eventually die with the jump in from Shiro. They'll get PMA again. Iridies run down, triple kill for Shiro, and he is continuing to just give him a knuckle sandwich time and time again.
I gotta say, every single time there is Largo in a losing game, this hero feels atrocious compared to some like other more traditional offlaners, like a Centaur where you always have impact, Mars as well. anything that can, like even Primal Beast, they have like BKB piercing tools, it just doesn't feel as impactful. His win rate is still strong. This is a very strong hero, but I think just his impact when things don't go correctly, and we talked about Warlock, we talked about Earth Spirit also being severely underleveled. If you combine these three, it gets very difficult for Navi to take the fight.
Tier 2 tower again taken by Shiro. Navi trying to hope that they can find a way back into the game. There's no Aegis, so they're probably going to wait for the next Roche if they want to pressure the high ground. It's probably much easier like that. And that gives them time to go for their next few items. Is there anything you'd like to see in particular from Vici item-wise?
Pipe is finished. I mean, he can buy Shard on Phoenix, Marcy going for Basher. I see the big item queued up on XM. I really like that one. Going for Hex. Because this Ring of Health on Primal Beast that he purchased as his first item is going to be turned into Shiva's. He's getting relatively close to it.
Not too far out. Fuels for Planet soon, so they'll have other ways to kind of lock down these heroes. So that's in the vicinity with the rest of the team. They were able to get the kill on the XM before. Now they'll go for Planet. They'll pull him. That's a bit of a blunder, but they get away with it. The ball lightning in, the pull to the other side. He has to come across again, and you know, fortunately for the side of Navi, they don't pay for something like that. But that is also a dangerous move if you end up missing that communication right there.
If they can keep getting these pickoffs on side of Navi, like punish the mistake, Kez is an insanely strong hero with Fatal Bonds. Post BKB, maybe Ridis can use buyback in one of those fights. It's definitely winnable. I know that's a lot of copium, but...
Hey, you mind if I get some of that over here? I mean, it was just a 20,000 net worth lead, but I respect it. I feel as though Navi, yeah, we're joking about Riddies using the voice lines, and in a losing game, it's, you know, what is there to do as Warlock. But for the most part, you know, now you see those kind of points that Navi can kind of make, right?
Yeah. Vici Gaming, they're not the cleanest team by any means.
Yeah.
Like in the so far the 6-7 games that they played, we've seen good amounts of mistakes. Let's see if they can try to punish. Earth Spirit does have a Blink Dagger right now, going for Ether Lens, which is going to make things more interesting when they decide to siege the high ground. And you're also got to have in mind, if Storm Spirit doesn't die, you're fighting close to his base. This is one of the best, if not the best hero in the game, to be able to come back, replenish his mana, and then join again.
Bach showing himself bottom for a second. A lot of these heroes here for the Dire, but they start to leave the bottom lane. Going through the Twin Gate, Kez moving around, but Marcy's nearby, and so are a couple of these other heroes. They're sticking towards top because the idea is to go and get this Torm, and they also get Ziots on the bottom end. A little surprised he didn't get out of dodge quicker. So they're going to get themselves another Torm. Phoenix already bought their shard, so this is going to be a shard for XM. More zone denial in these fights for the Leshrac.
Blink Hex is such a deadly combination. Leshrac has it pre-30 minutes, which is going to be nice. And you said that shard that was just picked up feels really good. Plus also Primal Beast, because he got that solo kill on Zayats, he got level 20, which was level 15 talent before. When you cast Uproar, you do get to dispel. Very, very good against Kez. It's very annoying to play. Like, Fatal Bonds is also something that really annoys you in most of these fights, because you can't blink unless you pop a BKB.
A
bit of an unfortunate. Storm decided to go in, and Primal Beast jumps over him.
They're still going to pressure the tower. They're still going to go for the tier 3 up on the high ground. Kez and Warlock are top, so they're not here to defend this. They have the glyph ready to go, but...
Potentially a risky move from Vici Gaming. I think they saw Kez.
They might have seen him, and they'll make the jump. They've got the Pulverize, and got the juice going to be taken out right when Roche is respawning.
I thought they were going to continue pushing.
Oh, they even find Miku. Even with the Lotus, the silence is there. They get the kill, the Supernova right on them. They don't even need the heroes that retreat from the fight. It's just Shiro, as well as Innocence. This is insane.
Storm doesn't even have items in his inventory. He did not have Magic Wand. He did not have Veil of Discord. So extra bit of armor and extra bit of stats could potentially save him there. So he just straight up dies in front of the base. And this game might just be over. 45 seconds.
Shiro's
no carry.
Alone.
No Storm Spirit. They definitely have the damage.
For that Courier. Why not get the extra bit of gold while all this is going on? So much time between now and Kez and Storm coming back into it. Bottom Siderax. Those are gonna go. And do they stick around? Do they fake back? Do they smoke, come back in, and try to finish the game? Or do they go for Roche? Both are very much available, and especially with them owning this outpost, there's nowhere for the side of Navi to TP to. They can't really contest this Roche. They could just get an Aegis and keep it simple, and then just go and finish the game.
Being one game down, knowing that they can go inside the Roche pit, but they're gonna smoke. Seems like Navi isn't even thinking yet about going in there. Kez wants to finish off his butterfly before the next fight. And the fake smoke play.
Briddies again.
Fake Roshan.
Just not allowed to have fun in this one. The jump over looking for PMA. Zayats here with an amplified damage. Sunray down, and now they've got the Unleash to go after PMA. Getting the kill into the Largo. He's dead for 70 seconds, doesn't have buyback. Kez is nowhere near the area either, and they can just go back to Roche.
This is a bit of a newer play the team started to do. Smoke out of the Roche pit once they proc the roar and try to catch them off guard. Before that, the similar play would be fake back when you kill the one side of barracks and then you enter from the same area. This was such a nice play, killing 2 heroes again. Butterfly is completed on Got the Juice. That's an insane amount of damage increase that he's going to have for the next fight, but he's going to need to pull off some miracle if they want to win it. Some kick underneath the tier 4 towers. And Storm Spirit, maybe if he can finish off the Shiva's guard, but these are all a lot of maybes.
Got the Juice on the run, and he'll Raptor dance. But BKB gets popped. Shiro is in, has an Aegis. BKB early from Got the Juice, but they can't really follow this up, so now he's going to have to win this fight without a BKB. So with no BKB for Got the Juice, life gets way harder. Fighting into an Aegis is going to be really tough.
And they're going to smoke out.
They're still going to try for it.
I respect this play, knowing that there's no BKB on Kez, thinking that they will not go for this type of a play. They are going to sit in the base, but they will try to catch Vici Gaming off guard. Maybe try to find someone who is playing on a different side of the map. Using the scan, maybe this scan usage is going to reveal that they are going for this type of a play because they're not showing a single hero on the map.
Nothing to quite get. Not yet, at least. But smoke play from Vici. Got the Juice. He's vulnerable. Onslaught on him.
Lotus Orb.
Stops the pulverize. They've got the catch. You look, that pulls him back. Zayat's dead. He does have buyback. He's going to use it immediately. The Chaotic Offering came down to start the fight, though. Echo Slash. Curse Crown pops. Largo in trouble and pulled back through the brambles thanks to the help of Zayat, but Got the Juice going to be in trouble. He'll go to the Raptor Dance again. Back up to full. They get the kill to Shiro. Maybe they can get more. But there's so much damage to the Terrorized lands. Ooh, the save again from Zayat. They still look over and find Miku. They get the Kona Bach. They'll end up losing one on the side of Vici. The Fatal Bonds were there. The Yule's up into the air, and Planet's going to blink away. He gets out to safety. But it's Zayat again, just getting that little moment to be able to save the Kez and give them a glimmer of hope. Still holding on to the game at the moment so far.
It doesn't feel like it's 30,000 net worth lead for one team. If they had like one extra item on 2-3 cores on side of Navi, like this game would be pretty even, I would say. If they could have Satanic on Kez so that he doesn't have to use Raptor Dance like that and have another jump in a fight. But Zayat has been doing a really good job. And this is before he even gets his items. He does have a cast range on coming up from the Key Knight Psychic Headband. But no Ether Lens yet still. Vici Gaming unable to kill another side of barracks. That's the last one.
This has been one of the things that they have struggled with, Vici, is staying consistent through an entire game. And they only lose Bach there. That's not like the worst thing in the world. They do lose the Aegis, so it might slow down the way that they want to focus on this game. And it does give Kez more time. But the reality of the situation is Kez does need a little bit of help. He can't do this by himself.
No, definitely not. He needs Storm Spirit. A lot of the times before the fight starts, Storm is sitting at sub 50% mana, so he doesn't feel too comfortable jumping in, doesn't have enough mana to maneuver near the fights, and he invested all of the gold. Does have Shiva's Guard available.
He wants that Ags, and obviously that is so far away, but maybe if he gets to that point, like you said, one item here or there for these cores, they can have that opportunity to go.
Even with just, let's say, he's having that good of a game, he has Aghanim Scepter on Storm Spirit. This game, definitely salvageable. And we're seeing a lot of big items on both supports on Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
This Wind Waker or Blink Wind Waker. So you have a save as well coming out from him, plus Refresher on Phoenix, who is level 22.
Refresher, if it can get off, maybe they kill the egg as it's happening. Going to be tough. We've seen that at times, though, where you focus with the BKBs to just kill the egg, and then you lose your life anyway with what is around you. So it becomes a question of whether or not you want to focus the egg, and then it's going to be 2 eggs. And 2 eggs make a great omelet, but they explode in your face if they microwave too much.
That sounds so American, microwaving the eggs.
You do not microwave eggs. They will explode. You do not do that.
Yeah, you also don't eat Tide Pods, but still.
Was that just an American thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. You know, looking for an excuse. Oy.
And they are in. Shiro, ready to go. Banner has been planted.
Ooh, so that's... Yeah, he's trying to survive, but can't. He already bought back, so he's dead for 70. Good attempt there with the Psychic Headband to push him back, but still just couldn't make his way out. Now got to do this without the Magnetize. You got to do this without saves of Zats. They have the Lotus Orb, but now they're going to try and think about throwing a Chaotic Offering down. But he's silenced, and he never gets anything off. That's going to be Kez dead. Got the juices gone. GG is called. Vici force us to a 3rd game.
Well, it took them a long time. Vici Gaming, they were constantly in the lead in this game, completely stopped the lanes. I want to see what happens with this Marcy. I think it needs to go. Shiro's playing this hero kind of perfectly, and I don't think you want to give it to him 3 times in a row.
No. Thank you very much. Coming into game number 3, Vici NAVI. I'm hoping for some action-packed, equal action-packed action. If that makes sense. But yeah, well, you know, game number 2 was very Vici favored. Game number 1 was, for the most part, pretty much 95% Vici as well, and Navi ended up taking a couple of fights at the end of that, turned that game heavily on its head. So now we are at this point where there's a chance for both these teams to win this series, and we'll see what it ends up being with some action that might be ahead of us. Kez against Puck. Lacoste and panel kind of saying it could be a lane that Kez wins. What are you expecting from that mid lane up against XM on the Puck?
He's one of the few mid players who's actually playing this Kez. He has 70% win rate on the hero. He did play it yesterday against Tundra as well, and also got a dub. He itemizes slightly different than what I've seen from other Kez players. He does go for like this very early Blightstone. This time around, it's not in his quick buy. He also did go for Urn yesterday just to have extra bit of regen. Urn is just a really cheap item that gives you like very good value for what you're getting. Like you're getting the stats, you're getting mana regen, armor. It increases pretty much everything that you need at these early levels. But we'll see what he's going to be building into, whether he wants to build slightly, because you have built-in silence as this hero. And let's see Bach. Bach is not doing too good. Got the juice. He's going to kill him with the hammer. This is the lane where they have to pull. I want to see also what Spirit Breaker started with. Okay, Planet started with the Boots of Speed, which means that he wants to pull the wave. It's a lot of heal. You're not killing this lane. Spirit Breaker is one of those position 4s, very similar to Nyx Assassin, Earth Spirit, that doesn't win you the lane. You need to pull the creeps. You need to give your XP. I'd say that Spirit Breaker is probably the best at leaving your offlaner alone, which means that you can still get the XP because of his innate ability, his herd mentality. So eventually you will catch up.
Yeah.
But very difficult matchup for Centaur. playing against pure damage, even though he bought 2 rings of protection. Not sure if this is actually a correct build playing into this Omni Knight, knowing that he is pure damage. A lot of the times you will see like 1, 2 if you're only playing into pure physical damage, so that you can reduce that damage. We're talking about maybe some Drow Rangers and stuff like that, just to have that extra bit of protection from the harassment that she doesn't even like, orb walking, she doesn't even have to click you, and you can already see that Bak is really struggling here.
I can see that Kez is 8-3 to the 7-0. Puck, you know, taking some damage heavy on. But Planet, like you said, you want to pull these creep waves, try and bring them over, maybe help out. Fatal Bonds in onto the wave as well as onto the Centaur. Got the juice ready at a moment's notice with that Hammer of Purity. Planet comes from behind, Purification, but they've got the charge in the hoof stomp. Even with the Shadow Word, though, it will be some heals for Got the Juice.
The trades that you're getting in this lane are like not worth it. You have to commit so much. You're using mana for the hoof stomp, and then you need to bring extra tangos while they use 1 Shadow Word, 1 Purification, and they're gonna be back to almost full HP.
Not a lot of mana remaining here for this Warlock, and then you look over mid. CS-wise, favoring the Kez a little bit.
Hey, it's a good matchup for Kez.
See if it continues that way, if XM can salvage this in any way. The supports are definitely 2 supports that can rotate over and help out if he calls for it, maybe on the 4s and the 6. If he wants to make that rotation with a charge that comes in from the Spirit Breaker, maybe he can turn something into that. With Innocence coming over with this Phoenix. As they fight for the Lotus, Icarus dive. Spike Carapace, but gives up the Lotus, and now missing the dead shot. Still, though, throwing over these spirits on his Ayats, and he'll burn low, but won't burn down. All okay in the world as PMA, he's continuing to farm too. So the CS pretty stable, I would say. There's nobody who's standing in the off lane with like 5 CS who can't really do anything. I think both sides are kind of getting a decent amount out of all their lanes.
Let's say if this Omni Knight was paired up with a position 5 that does have some kind of a control, either stun or a slow, let's say Jakiro, it's a very deadly lane. It gets very difficult to play it. Centaur would need to play much more cautious in this type of a lane, but knowing it's a Warlock, if he can run away, he's going to be A-okay.
Biku heading up towards the Water Rune. Not going to be able to pick that up as Riddies and Zayats, though, get both the Water Runes.
Very important, because Niku, he's playing Kez mid, which means you are not buying into bottle. And that's why you have 2 supports coming in, taking away bottle, refill from XM, who's going to go all the way down and still refill his bottle. Plus, they also use Shadow Word on him.
Charge onto the Snake's Assassin. Icarus dive avoiding that impale, and a good job there by these supports of Vici to get a kill and get themselves on the board for the first time. Shiro, he insta-locked in on this Muertha. What are you seeing for the next 10 or so minutes for this hero?
I'd say pretty standard stuff with going for Mjolnir. You want to be building into Hurricane Pike this game. We'll see if Bristleback decides to go for Blade Mail. Nyx Assassin is also very annoying. BKB probably needed relatively earlier, and also I think Panel talked about Silver Edge. Would definitely love to see that one. Very good against Bristleback in this game, and also you can turn him around as we're seeing right now. PMA, they don't have enough damage even though they have 2 Fiery Spirits. PMA with double Bracer, he's gonna be fine.
Kind of seems like you're saying that Muertha needs a lot of items.
It's a hero that does need a lot of items, but it's a very good Muertha game. We're talking about carry-to-carry matchup where you can completely ignore Guardian Angel during your ulti, which makes it super in your favor. Kind of negates what Omni Knight wants to do.
Taking out that Obs actually gets it denied. 3 heroes here mid as we approach the 6-minute mark for that first power rune. The control is going to be very important, especially XM with this bottle. And they are pressuring into the tier 1 tower with the catapult while they hit the 6-minute mark. It's an amplified damage picked up by Planet. He gets chased and eventually will be controlled a little bit, charging all the way across. Niku still gets that kill. chasing Planet all the way through the charge and getting that last shot.
Nuku off to a very good start, sitting at 40 CS, 12 denies. About to finish off his power treads. Falcon Blade already completed, so he can spam it out. Pretty much playing the safe lane Kez from the mid lane.
While that's going on, Bach is kind of left top, so this is a free lane now for Got the Juice on this Omni Knight.
Dire are scanning.
How long until
Dire's bottom
Omni Knight is ready to get involved? What kind of build are you looking for before you start fighting?
Probably Radiance build, just be as tanky as possible. This hero deals insane amount of damage, and he scales really well. Especially if we talk about, you know, his level 25s. If somehow you get to that point with the Hammer of Purity, extra bit of damage.
Niku came over, Raptor dancing, or Ravens veiling, and getting that kill onto Planet. Had the help of both supports, 4 heroes up in that lane for NAVI. There's a stack to take for XM if he can. And Spike Carapace on the Icarus dive. They've got the Fatal Bonds, but they don't get the damage to get this kill onto the Phoenix. They are still just pressuring the tower and pressuring the lane. This is quite tough for Vici to kind of respond to. Wasn't a case like the last few games where we had seen Shrines particularly one-sided. It was one apiece this time around. Supports not fiending for experience. You do have a Spirit Breaker currently sitting at level 4. Zayats would love to get to 6 as quickly as he can so he can be that mobile vision and be that impact damage with Vendetta.
And speaking of experience, Spirit Breaker, he's the one who wants to mess the experience, maybe have his other support be higher level than him, and then he gets 50% extra XP from the Shrine because of the herd mentality. Right now they are invading. Niku with the Arcane Rune. He has been a menace so far. Involved in 2 kills. Off to a really good start. And this type of a lineup is going to scale extremely well into the late game. You have Tricore, Bristleback with Seeing Red Facet. Kez in the late game is insanely strong, and so is Omni Knight. This is the hero that we usually don't get to see. I think the first team that comes to my mind to play carry Omni Knight is, I would say, Pure. Even like during his time in BetBoom. And even BetBoom now with Kiritich, I think this is the team that could potentially run it. So more like Eastern European carry type of a thing that they like to play.
It has looked strong so far. They did chase Planet around, but they don't end up getting the kill at all. Very stable in lane, at least in this matchup. Not bothered for the most part at all. I guess the same could be said for Shiro. He's not lagging too far behind this Omni Knight. Has that Maelstrom being built. And XM has been in this triangle, farming this jungle. He's just trying to find some space as he's not been able to really secure the power runes. I guess he's hoping for at least minute 10 to be that moment where he can get himself a power rune. Pierce the Veil, Dream Coil, all used, getting in front, trying to turn him around. PMA ends up dead to Shiro. It's a good kill to get for Vici, and Bach coming over as he sees this whole creep wave, but the Blood Grenade, he needs to be a little bit careful. Impale misses Shadow Words on him, but it doesn't quite matter.
It's shorter than you think. I think Nyx Assassin could use some extra range on his Impale. A lot of the times it just feels wonky compared to Lion, for example, which feels really nice to use. But to go back to this Bristleback against Muerta thing, just the matchup, it's like you see she's not receiving any kind of damage when she uses Pierce the Veil against Bristleback. A lot of the times carries should be afraid that a lot of Quill Spray, especially when hitting him from behind, are going to start to stack up, but she receives 0 damage whatsoever. And Riddies this time around drops the Golem, gets the tower. Not as bored as he was in that second game.
Doing the classic KO where you just drop down the Warlock ult and get a tower. You can tell he's not as bored with this one. He's not spamming the voice lines, walking around. But very happy with the way that this game is going, at least for himself. And had used that Black Grimoire to get to level 6. Uses the Chaotic Offering. He's just about to have himself some Arcane Boots. And he'll even move this Golem for the last few seconds of its duration to push and pressure the Tier 1 bot. So they'll glyph that up. There is some time to put the damage on, especially if you're able to save that cart could potentially just be another tower. As long as he keeps this cart alive and the creep wave comes in, he's got the Shadow Word, so there's not much to be scared about. And a couple of heroes will come in, but with the constant kills that are coming out from the Warlock, there's nothing you can do to really stop this push. And that has now opened the map up pretty significantly for NAVI. You've taken out the mid tier 1 and the bottom tier 1.
They can continue the pressure. They need Nyx Assassin to get some levels. He's only level 4. Once you get that Vendetta, you can play with Kez, pretty much with double Invis, try to go for any kind of pick-off on the map. Other heroes are not easily moved. You have Bristleback, you have Omni Knight. These two heroes, they just want to farm. They want to farm their items, come online, and then group up.
Top still just occupied by the Omni Knight. Deadshot lands on a PMA. Shiro farming back within his own jungle as he lost that tier 1 tower, so he has to sit a little bit further back, but Riddy's in the vicinity. Biku just working on that BKB. So early BKB is the plan. Orb of Corrosion, Falcon Blade. Is this what you're expecting from the Kez?
Smaller items, and he's also holding on to Medium Lotus. I think BKB is definitely needed in this game. He's also going to be the one killing the egg, I would say, getting out of coil, which is very annoying for him.
Not the bloodbath that maybe we were expecting, but I would say with the heroes that we have on both sides, it seems like a game that's lining up to have a later game bloodbath where it's just constant fights. Question is the timings for everybody who wants that to happen. Omni Knight almost at this radiance, but that's the timing in which they're going to fight, which will be a couple minutes from now. With those couple minutes that you know that Omni Knight's not fighting, what's the plan for Vici? Because they got to kind of figure out something without the mid and bottom lane.
Omni's about to be ready. Radiance just 800 gold away. Zayats again.
Dream Coil committed, but the Chaotic Offering stops the charge from Planet, and now Niku's in. Gotta be careful. He does have Supernova on the Phoenix. Zion's one shot from dead. Icarus dives Supernova. That comes through. Box got the Centaur stunning Niku and wants to try and get a kill. They've got the silence onto the Kez. They will get 2. Got the juice comes in. They've got the Fatal Bonds on a lot of these heroes. The charge attempt away from Planet, and they're unable to get their hands onto the side of Vici, and NAVI come up empty-handed.
Oh, this looked like a really good fight for NAVI if he manages to get Raptor Dance, but very nice play coming out from Buck. He does have this double global presence, sets his little bro there to make sure that he gets the stun, which actually gets them the kill on Kez.
You'd see a lot of damage done by Spirit Breaker comparatively. Obviously small numbers to start, but decent gold and 2 kills there for Vici. Showing that they're not really afraid at this point to fight, and their execution in that last one looking quite nice. But now is the timing for Got the Juice. He's got this Radiance, and he hits very hard.
It's an insane how much damage he can deal. Hammer of Purity being on 5-second cooldown. Level 10, sorry, extra 35 damage that you do get. It's starting to add up.
The addition is there. Question is, can Vici subtract him from the fights and divide and conquer against NAVI and multiply this net worth lead? But they smoke, they search. They will come up empty-handed in the bottom lane as Shiro continues to push the tier 1 tower.
Shiro straight up going for Silver Edge, just the Maelstrom for now. Making sure that he can break this Bristleback, because he's going into pipe. Most of the damage that they do have is magical. Muerta's dealing magical damage as well. Would be very difficult to kill. I mean, he's still gonna be difficult to kill with Omni Knight behind him, with Golem. Zayats this time around, he does connect. Silence, Fatal Bond.
Stampede, 2-man stun, at least to start. They got the kill on Iridies. They're going to look over. They pierce the veil. They'll try to go for Niku. The charge comes out from Planet. They get the kill and got the juice. And now they'll look over for this Kez. Try to parry his way to safety, but that is going to be 3 heroes dead for the price of Bach.
That was very deep. Very, very deep. 16 minutes in with tier 2 towers still standing. They wrapped around and near the tier 3 tower. And this fight was also without Bristleback. Like, I'm fine with this type of a dive if you have pipe to mitigate most of the damage that's going to be coming out from them.
I'm wondering if they even would have had more success with the Bristle. Yes, he would have been a tanky frontliner, but you were just so deep that it is so hard to
It's very
escape
hard to
a
disengage.
spot like that.
Exactly. And their chase potential is insanely strong. Every single hero has a way of catching you. You have Spirit Breaker, so at least someone's gonna get charged, potentially Stampede. Even this like Centaur that he had twice, allowing him to get multiple stuns. Really high value pickup.
Find themselves not capitalizing with the advantage that they had with this timing that they had with this Radiance. And instead, it goes the other way, and Shiro now sits at the top of your net worth. And like you said, he wants to go straight Silver Edge. So with that gold pumped into him after that fight, getting 3 kills, he's only going to get there quicker.
Silver Edge is such a strong item in this meta. I really love that we found a way how to make it viable. Not just because of, you know, the break mechanic that was kind of always the part of this item, but also it caps your move speed to 200, which makes it insanely strong.
Definitely going to feel strong when you can then catch them, like you said, with all the movement that they have and all the reach that they have on the side of Vici. Navi blundering a little bit, go to the Blink Dagger, forgot the juice. What is Navi's game plan? You struggled to kind of find success in a dive like that. Do you just stop yourself from making deep movements? So they'll find the Nether Strike on to Zion's, and again, just a little bit too far away from his team and inside the presence of Vici, makes it an easy kill.
Wait for BKB on Kez, try to get a pick off, try to get the team fight going with Golem, and then turn that into Roche. How far away is he? He actually has BKB, just needs to use the courier, and then you want to be getting that Roshan on your side of the map.
Vici can contest though, right? They have decent tools. They have Supernova, Dream Coil, Pierce the Veil, Stampede to catch up. If they have decent vision, they can definitely contest this rush. It's not going to be so easy for Navi.
No, they're not going to let it go. So that's why Navi needs to get some kind of a pick-off. Nyx Assassin is Vendetta, only level 1 at the time. Still on cooldown for a good 30 seconds.
Yeah, just getting caught within the Vendetta a moment ago, and there's that BKB delivered for the Kez. They are grouped up towards the top end of the map. Maybe they'll try to go for Bach again, but they need to set up at a point where they can disengage if that kill doesn't happen immediately. The side of Vici or Smoke, though, kind of catching wind of where Navi are and potentially expecting them to be in a Roche, which they are at. How did Vici play this?
Couldn't find an opening, couldn't find anything.
Vendetta?
So Vendetta right now, Smoke.
Ika's the one who's caught first, so it's away from this Vendetta. The Icarus dive all the way out and around. Innocence went forward on that. Spike Carapace doesn't work with that much just yet. The Nyx Descents helping them to look and catch themselves. This Huerta who pierces the veil. Now the charge coming in across. Fatal Bonds, Chaotic Offering. They get the kill to Zion to start it off. Planet gets another strike out and got the juice. And they'll jump forward. They don't care about the Dream Coil with the BKB on this Kez. So Shiro is dead. They want more. They want Planet. Waning Rift. Silence on to 2. Illusory Orb cuts in, but got the juice burning out Planet. And they will try to stop the TP of the Centaur, but can't do so, so it ends up being 2. But with the BKB and the jump forward from the Kez, he's able to kill off Shiro, and that's your big target. To at least now get an objective in the Torm at the 20-minute mark.
You can see the power of Navi's lineup when they group up together with this freshly bought BKB, Pipe, Omni Knight with all this heal, all this sustain, and immediately getting Roshan. Zayat is going to be the one picking it up. So Vendetta does apply Break, which is not the greatest. I mean, there are certain things that you can break in this game, but nothing too crazy.
The Shadow Blade, the Silver Edge, is coming out early for Huerta, but as we just saw in that last fight, you still have to worry about the Nyx Sense. Hard little word to say there.
It's a cool one. I really love the wordplay that they did on a lot of the abilities.
Yeah.
When these facets were introduced.
Just the XTA Nyx Don't laugh at my struggles, please. English is tough.
Roshan's on the bottom part of the map right now, and they could try to replicate what they just did. Try to go in, 5-man strong, and try to force another fight. Right now, it does feel like they don't have enough fighting into this pipe. Most of their damage being magical. It's going to be reducing it heavily.
Centaur sitting mid and nearby the Kez as well as the Warlock. Zayat's looking for something. He's going to be going into the Blink Dagger. He loves these mobility items, anything that he can do to kind of jump on or jump out.
It's anti-Muerta as well. You blink in, you stun her for a like spike carapace when it's maxed out. It's 1.6 seconds. It's just enough for the rest of the team to connect, and it's more about providing control during Pierce the Whale, sorry. Duration 8 seconds. Yeah, kind of half of the duration if you can connect 2 stuns.
Innocent's nearby Kez. He's just continuing to farm. Got the juice back in that top spot. Nobody going for Roche. Planet charging bottom. He doesn't really have much help at the moment, so he's just going to charge now, thinking about the Nether Strike, but doesn't commit to it. These heroes are coming towards bottom for the side of NAVI. They're here because they want to go for Roche. Is there anything Vici are willing to do to counter this Roche play? Again, not fully committing to it, and even looking to back out smoke.
I don't think they can take this fight right now.
Go.
Fighting into multiple BKBs now, into pipe, and it seems like they are on the hunt. Leaving Bristleback alone in the pit. Somebody needs to help him out.
Ends up being got the juice. Niku comes back, and the first Aegis goes the way of NAVI.
Interesting, they gave it to Bristleback, thinking that after seeing the Silver Edge potentially being very close, they saw the recipe. It seems like Shiro has another plan. This BKB that we said that it needs to come early, considering what he's playing into. Nyx Assassin can be very annoying. Still, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to deal as much damage during the Pierce the Whale as he would like to. Playing into Nyx Assassin pre-BKB, playing into Guardian Angel. Like, sure, you can... the reason why it's not as effective is, like, you're dealing magical damage, but post-Pierce the Whale, it's still gonna counter you. And then you have Golem that stuns you for good duration. And if Nyx Assassin can get a stun, alright, that's a good start.
He's not the one who has the Aegis, and he's not the one who has the life. They get the kill there, and they take out this Omni. Pretty quickly, might I add. Not what you're looking for if you're NAVI, especially giving that Aegis over to PMA.
Yeah, usually you don't give Aegis to Bristleback. Like, I would be fine if they gave it to either Kez. I would rate it Omni Knight, Kez, Bristleback in that order. Because Bristleback is also very close to his BKB, and then he doesn't care too much about what Muerta does have. BKB now completed on Shiro. He does have Silver Edge Recipe, and he will have Demon Edge as well in another minute or so.
I don't dislike the audible that he made to go and get that BKB. And with them getting that kill and got the juice, it kind of pays off. He didn't have to use the BKB, but he's able to then get the Silver Edge without having to fight with one or the other in a total fight.
We haven't talked too much about XM. He's been...
Pretty quiet.
Yeah, he's been quiet. It's not like one of those explosive puck games that we do see. He is playing into Nyx Assassin, which makes it much more difficult for him to play. That's why he isn't playing, he's not overextending, didn't die a single time, but he has good amount of farm. Parasma now finished. Yeah, top of Shard and going into Aeon Disc. I think we're seeing a lot more Aeon Disc in general as a second item on the supports as well.
Ooh. Surely.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very close.
Innocence? Does he just... You chaotic offered, and you don't even get the kill. With the Vendetta, they were on him, and they can't kill him. Wow. A little shocked by that.
They had to kill him straight away. Otherwise, it is not happening. Not sure if Riddy's had this Yule Scepter ready. Maybe he was out of cast range to be able to interrupt the dive.
Still probably gets the Supernova off, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking maybe post Supernova.
Oh, okay.
Be able to cancel it, and then the Omni Knight could have came with Blink Dagger, got the damage in.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Minute 45 remaining on this Aegis.
Didn't get too much out of it.
They'll now go for Phoenix, this time not having Supernova, but they get that kill. They're working on Niku, who pops the BKB, but then another strike afterwards, and now he's going to Raptor Dance. Doesn't get a lot of life back on that, but it's going to be enough to survive, looks likely. And now they'll find the Muerta, they'll look for the summon. The BKB is going to be popped by Shiro. Turns this on to PMA, Deadshot popping that Aegis. Raven's Veil. Up top is Niku. Waiting for a moment to maybe jump back in. No Chaotic Offering. Raptor Dance, Raven's Veil, but the blink in, Impale, and they've got the Ghost Scepter. He's still alive. They'll kill Ziots. They get the Nyx Assassin. Got the juices diving in pretty deep. Bach, though, not afraid for the moment. Maybe he should be because he is all alone. He's tanky enough. Got the juice BKB of his own. They get the kill there onto the Centaur, and got the juices running forward onto Shiro, who doesn't have his BKB, but he goes into the Pierce the Veil, and they look over as they've got the Yules. That comes through, stops him from hitting those shots out there. Icarus dive across. They've got the silences, get the kill. Got the juice. He's in trouble. The fear, the dead shot. It landed on Niku, trying to Raptor Dance, but can't. They cannot get the Raptor Dance off. Another hero dead. PMA drops.
Overextending their Centaur, sacrificing himself for the greater good. I like how patient Shiro is in the fight. He popped that BKB in the, let's call it early engagement. He was holding it for a very long time, and then also pierced the whale. He gets it in the end, and how much damage was that coming out from him? It was him and XM. I also like the synergy between the Puck and Muerta in a lot of these fights, because Puck is the hero that goes for relatively early Parasma, which does a good amount of damage, and it also reduces enemy magic resistance by 40 seconds, which synergizes nicely with Muerta dealing most of the magic damage. And you see them overextending, and again, not having this Golem because they used it on Phoenix in the bottom fight. They would definitely love to have it here. Drop it onto Muerta. The Yule Scepter was good, but the chase potential, as we said, from Vici Gaming, it's through the roof. You have Spirit Breaker, and a big fan of this Spirit Breaker Ghost Scepter second item.
Yeah.
Knowing that he can't be attacked. You're playing against 3 cores who are relying heavily on just getting those right clicks or just having that physical damage. Sure, their Got the Juice has pure damage, but you can't really deal it through the Ghost Scepter unless you're using the heal, which you're really not that afraid of it.
And a fight like that, you know, there was that thought that Puck, he wanted to go for the Aeon Disc. He felt he was dying maybe quickly to the Nyx Assassin, but the fight where they take it so overwhelmingly one-sidedly,
yes,
he now just goes Aghanim Scepter with
it's
the
what
Plasma.
happens. It's one of those things where you feel like, oh, I need a BKB, and then things go really well for you, and then you get another greedier item. Same thing happening here. Spirit Breaker.
This is setting up nicely for a good late game because now he's going to get to that level 25. Obviously very far away, but I'm saying he's got the item set up for where 25 for Puck is going to have that heavy impact. Charging, Impale, doesn't matter. They get a kill on the Ziots, and that's going to be a 5k net worth lead. They get through the Twin Gate just in time. Got the Juice backing up, and now looking for another defensive item. He went to that BKB, but he wants to get himself a Lincoln's as well as a Heart.
Hearts seem to be relatively more popular. People are figuring out whether they can slot it in. We saw 33 earlier today on his Centaur being super tanky. They did lose that game, but seemed like a very good fit for that particular game.
Right.
So you want to be as tanky as possible. The more HP you have, the more region you have, and then just max HP as region, because this is an item that has been changed. And then for the missing HP, you get the extra bit of region.
Shard between Spirit Breaker and Centaur. Ends up being the Spirit Breaker. It's that upgrade of the Charge of Darkness. Back in the day, it used to be the planar pocket, but now, ooh, another strike, thinking about it, charges first, pierce the veil, and they should get this kill on a PMA, but he gets the BKB off. The chase is still on. They've got the damage. And Shiro has another one. Maybe not the cleanest, but they made it work. And honestly, the fact that it wasn't clean, has him pop his BKB, doesn't work out for him, and he ends up dying anyway. XM, meanwhile, caught by Ziots and Niku. They get themselves a gem. They really need to get this off of Niku, but Niku's able to grappling hook. He's stunned up as he jumps away. Radies is off to the side with the BKB being popped by Niku. He needs to get out of this one. Icarus dive, and now looking for the workhorse. They finally get the kill, decides to take out Radies, who drops the chaotic offering.
Ooh, man,
but Niku gets out with a gem.
These chaotic offerings, they're not getting them much. Like this one, it's not saving you. There's still Spirit Breaker. He's gonna charge you, but at least they pick up the gem. They get a good kill on Puck. A lot of gold.
Puck dead for 40. Roche, it's a long respawn timer. A lot of time to play with. A lot of time to get Shiro up closer to that Daedalus, that level 25. He just hits 23. These timings on these levels are going to be very important for the side of Vici, and I feel like is the next impact spot for them when they start to really lock this game down. And what do NAVI have to do to kind of respond? Because a lot of these fights, like you said, they're kind of forcing the chaotic offerings. They're forcing a little bit too much, and it ends up costing them each and every time.
I want to see Raven's Veil, like they just did. Raven's Veil plus Nyx Assassin Vendetta try to get a pick off. After losing a Bristleback, they did not expect that they're going to be fighting like this, so very nice play from NAVI.
Dead shot. Calling. Riddy's saved for a second. Another strike back. He'll end up dead. Shiro now dominating. Continuing to just put the hurt on this NAVI squad. He is 2,000 ahead of Got the Juice, but certainly feeling more impact from the Muerta to the Omni. Another Shadow Blade for the side of Vici. And now that Aeon Disc. So that makes Zayat's job way more difficult. That Aeon Disc, you can't really pop that Phoenix. Make sure he dies. He has that chance to get the Supernova off. The fights get harder for NAVI from this point. And they're going to continue to stay and get more difficult with the way the game is going and the way that Vici is itemizing.
That's going to be a second Aeon Disc. XM about to finish off his, which makes it very difficult for Nyx Assassin to play the game. They don't have any ways of dispelling that. And Niku immediately, after seeing those online, decided to switch to Nullifier. Pretty good thinking. Luckily for him, he did not buy into Crystallis. He did have enough money.
Close to the Sacred Relic. But lagging behind. He's about as farmed as the Centaur. Centaur's pretty much got everything he needs out of this game. They forced the BKB from PMA. And Roche is up. It's going to be very difficult to fight without that BKB, but we'll see if NAVI are willing to risk it. They're kind of nearby, but not entirely. Omni not coming over. They're conceding this. Unless Zayat tries to make a play in, and he looks looking. But never quite makes the jump. So he'll blink away, but Spike Carapace on the TP, quick enough there, and they're actually going to charge over to mid. PMA doesn't have a BKB, so he's just dead to XM.
It was a nice try from Zayat. So this ward that he places on the high ground comes in. I've seen people steal Aegis with this type of an Observe ward. Gives you just enough vision, you blink in, maybe you can get it, but he decided not to go for it. Aeon Disc has been procced.
Phoenix losing that Aeon Disc for now the next 90 seconds. Vulnerable, but no Bristle probably means that Y is safe.
Also, Muerta with Aegis plus Workhorse behind her, it's going to be a very difficult kill. Imagine Muerta getting driven into the whole enemy team while Pierce the Veil is active. This game could just, they could just lose this fight and the game's pretty much gonna end.
Gets driven in, hits him with the Gratata, and then that's it. That's all you see is just Muerta being driven your way. Banner down, tier 3 in trouble, and no reaction available for NAVI for the most part without the Bristleback. See if they can make something happen with another Vendetta Chaotic Offering. They're gonna TP everybody back. Niku's gonna try and wrap around, but Shiro feeling very confident in just standing tall.
And
I say that, and here it is. Pierces the Veil, driving in, and now he's just going to go. Niku's going to try and get to the back line. They look over Planet, they get the kill there onto the Spirit Breaker. They're trying to take out the egg, they'll successfully do so. Chaotic Offering flies in, but the damage is going to be enough to get the kill on Niku. Piercing the Veil, looking at got the juice, will give her the hook stop. Buyback gets committed from Planet. He's going to be charging all the way on a PMA, but they get the Aegis, they get that first life. Box still here with half his health. XM gets taken out. Bai got the juice. That Hammer of Purity just absolutely dominating this puck. But the charge all the way through. Shiro's gone, and now Vici, they're left to just Bach as well as Planet. Planet bought back for this, but he was into the fight way too late.
Let's see if maybe they can find him. This Nullifier doing work, immediately jumping the back lines, killing both Phoenix. Like he did get the egg off, but it still did go off pretty quickly. You saw Kez kind of sacrificing himself, and also Nullifier onto Spirit Breaker, removing his Bulldoze, removing his Ghost Scepter, getting the kill, and now we're getting into that level 25 territory for Omni Knight. You said that his Hammer of Purity is dealing a lot of damage. Just wait until he hits that level 25. It was a good save for Muerta, but once she respawns, she's really not dealing that much damage during the Pierce the Whale, and this time around, Riddies finally lands a good rock. Buys a little bit more time, and then Muerta, after she respawns, she's just gonna melt. Zayad's doing one hell of a work as well with this Nyx Assassin, keeping the distance, not dying with the Carapace. This is exactly what Navi needed.
This is everything they needed, and now they're getting the tier 3 over mid. Still 30 seconds without this Muerta, and Planet went in, but he's going to be picked up. Workhorse, all right. Saving this Spirit Breaker just barely.
Yeah, who was also in Shadow Blade. Like, it looked very odd. And look at the damage now coming out from this Omni Knight. Level 25, sitting at 4,000 HP, and he's also investing. He's going for all in. Overwhelming Blink. He wants to slow them down, cancel some of the Blink daggers on a Centaur and Puck. That's going to be very effective. They have 3 very tanky cores. And finally, Navi, probably for the first time, in the lead of this game after a good 20 minutes.
They are really hitting their stride, and it's going to be a battle of the 25 soon. XM kind of far from that, but you will get Muerta, who gets to that point and was looking for that Daedalus, backtracking on it, and we'll see when we hit these 25s, it feels like it's going to just be a quick bloodbath between both teams. Fights are going to be very fast. Niku, he's only level 22, but he's got this Nullifier, and you were talking about him wanting it and switching over before he bought that Chrysalis. It was so important in that
really
last
clutch,
fight.
absolutely. Killing off Spirit Breaker immediately, then you can't use your Hurricane Pike. Aeon Discs are also very easily dispellable.
They were good prior, but now not going to be that good up against these Nullifiers now picked up. Can't take them all out.
Got the juice. He wants his Blink Dagger upgraded. He's going to be sitting at almost 5,000 HP with Lincoln Sphere. And he also does have Giant Small. This item with Omni Knight allows you, like, the first time he blinks in, I want to see who receives that damage. Like, that first hit is going to hurt.
He's got this heart. Oh, man. Rattle Cage, Giant Small for XM. XM would love that 25. Muerta got it, so now the 20% extra on the Gunslinger. But Puck, I want to say you got to commit to getting him this experience, right? You need to make sure that he's got that the Dream Coil Pierce's debuff immunity. I think it's so important to the build that he's got going on. But now they'll jump in. They'll get the Aeon Disc, and now the Workhorse picks him up in the cart
overlap
and backs him off. Slowed up a little bit, but still 5 stars.
Riddies. Wind Waker available on him. I see that Puck wants to pick up Nullifier as well. Both mid laners going for Nullifier. They do know that it's very important to dispel some of these things. Double Yule Scepter on support's actually a full Wind Waker on Warlock.
Thinking about Refresher as well for the double coil.
Maybe if he was 25, we'll see which item he decides to go for. But yeah, level 25. Coil, potentially double coil, is going to be pretty big, but I think he needs to go with the Nullifier, seeing that there is Yule Scepter, Aeon Disc on Nyx Assassin. If he gets Spike Carapace 3-4 times in a fight, you're losing the fight.
That is very true. Crippling Crossbow for Planet. He'll be using that as we move on. Courier was killed from Huerta, and they do get the Torm now a shard for Niku. So he's got himself that Kazurai Katana upgrade. Sounds like something straight out of Mortal Kombat from like Scorpion's backstory.
Do you think we copied like one of the most iconic spells from the video game, from Get Over Here? That's why we got the hook in Dota. It's kind of the same mechanic.
What came? Well, Mortal Kombat came first. That was in arcades. I can't try to defend Dota on that one.
We upgraded it.
Yeah, you know. It was a little bit of inspiration. Now, if we could just add the Toasty, that would be good. Raven's Veil, jump over, planet, very, very dead. And you do see that Puck commits on the Nullifier. So no refresher just yet. Commits to the Nullifier, has
and
that
no
level
buyback
25.
on him. If they get the jump on this Puck with Nullifier, you can finally feel Kez damage coming through.
Omni going to be picking up this Shrine. He'll go to 26.
Actually, 5,000 HP on Omni Knight.
That's stupid. That's so much HP. That is just way too much. Roche, another long secondary timer. 2.5 minutes.
Let's see how they're going to approach this. They have a Shield Rune on Kez, extra 1,500 HP.
Pretty's with the Wind Waker. He's looking Blink. He's looking positioning to try and make sure that he can knock out.
Buy some time.
Heroes.
Level 25 coil. He can get out of the coil if he's initiated on, but he can also save his guys inside the coil. Buy a little bit more time.
Much better game for a Warlock this time. Less voice chatting. He's only died 4 times. You know you're having a good game when you're not dying as much as a 5 position. Hex hesitating on that hook stomp. And now got the juice jumped in. They think about the chaotic offering, but don't commit. Spike Carapace stunts him up for a second. They'll go to the workhorse now. They've got the Supernova. They're going to jump the other way. Nullifier onto the Nyx Assassin. Charge coming in on a PMA, but doesn't commit to it. Hex from PMA kind of distorting that fight from Vici. Lot gets used in the Supernova and the Dream Coil, but they don't find their hands on anything, and NAVI are able to retreat successfully.
They don't want to overcommit, knowing that Roshan could be respawning anytime soon. So just poking, seeing if they can maybe get a kill, and then disengaging, knowing that their lineup is very difficult to burst from 100 to 0 unless Huerta uses Pierce the Veil. And without Pierce the Veil, without BKB, now XG, by XG I mean Vici, they need to get out of the base.
Huerta got the juice running forward. Chaotic offering a little bit off the mark, so didn't get the positioning on that, but now Niku off to the side. You need to be careful about this Kez because he's got an amplified damage running for about half the duration. Nether Strike committed from planning. He's just gonna die. The jump in from Bach, they look for the stun, he goes into the War Curse. They've got the break, it's out of this Kez, but Kez, they're just not getting the damage out. He'll Raptor Dance, Bach is gone, got the juice with another one. The Hex hits onto Shiro, and he's gonna be killed off as well. All 3 heroes have buyback. NAVI coming out clean.
Huerta, she needs to be dealing the damage, but she can't do it alone. 4,000 damage coming up from her. Puck dealing only 500 damage in the previous fight, not committing with the coil. Aeon Disc has not been procced. Even if you buy back on this Huerta, you don't have BKB available, and Nyx Assassin can definitely control you, as you've seen. The question is, do you buy back, or... because you still can't take the fight. You have 3 buybacks available, and it's gonna come in.
Buybacks committed on all 3. Charges come across. Sunray there. Zayats with the stun attempt. XM's Aeon Disc is going to be popped immediately. Again, Raptor dancing PMA low on health, but he's still able to survive. Supernova, they'll find Niku. He doesn't have buyback. That's at least something, but they need much, much more. Zayats able to get away with 100 health.
They don't know about the buyback situation. Let's see how they're going to approach it. Roshan is on the dire side right now. They definitely want to have Shiro potentially getting that Aegis, but I also feel like he needs that refresher ASAP. He needs the second BKB, he needs the second Pierce the Veil. 70 seconds. BKBs are coming off cooldown for Navi. Omni Knight needs another 10 seconds. Aeon Disc has been proc on Nyx. Let's see how they approach this. Whether they want to be going in. Riddies placing some vision to see whether they're going to be entering the Roche pit. So far, it did not see them yet. The server board didn't reach in, but yeah, the scan connects, and XM is also showing.
Sunray, Hex, immediately, XM caught, XM gone! He was there, then he wasn't, and the Aegis picked up by Shiro, but is he going to have enough damage? PMA in his face, looking with the BKB. He's actually the one who picks up the cheese. They're going to stampede and try to escape, but right there with him is Zayats, and Zayats is going to find himself Shiro! He needs to get away. The Lotus Orb is going to be picked up on him. They go to the Workhorse. They've got the damage to get the kill there on it. Zayats is going to have himself buyback. Do they come in on either here on the side of Navi as they're continuing to chase for PMA? Got the juice, moving forward, trying to help out. Riddy's in, looking, not dropping anything, and the TP out from Shiro. He escapes with the Aegis. They do lose XM, but a cheese and a banner picked up for this Bristleback.
They got the other goodies. They got what they came for. They got the Aegis on Shiro, and he's very, very close to this refresher. 24k gold lead for Navi. Now 55 seconds without Nyx Assassin. Unfortunately for them, he did not have Aeon Disc. He's the one who's actually controlling the whole fight. Blinking gain, being very annoying. With this Aeon Disc, Carapace, level 20 talent as well. So extra 0.6 seconds on it. So you can stun lock somebody down for almost 4.5 seconds. Double Observer Ward.
Chaotic Offering, committed, got the juice. Lincoln's popped. They're trying to ticket the golem, trying to keep themselves safe though. Thinking about the Nether Strike, got the juice, just gonna stand his ground. PMA is there as well. Lincoln's popped again, the calling committed. They take the golem, they get 200 gold. Shiro desperately needing the gold. He threw the courier over to the Dire side, trying to get himself this refresher orb. He's got the recipe on his courier that's made its way all the way over, and he buys out on that tiara. Just needs the Ring of Tarask, 350 gold away from getting that refresher orb.
It's go time for Navi. I think they could go in, try to poke again, see what's going to happen. Waiting for Niku to potentially farm his buyback because they definitely need Kez to have it.
There's the refresher orb completed, and he's got to get that courier back safely. It's going down. It might meet up with that creep wave. Oh, boy. Now he's got it towards the south. Needs to find a way to get it around these heroes to get this refresher orb. It's such a dangerous courier movement. And Nyx Assassin is going to be right near where that courier is going to be coming through.
Oh, that was so close.
That was almost a problem. They've got the break. Now they're going to go. Nether Strike out. Supernova used. They've got the control. Do they have the commitment? They go to the Wind Waker. They're trying to save him, but the Supernova is going to pop in time. No, it's not. It's going to be a little bit late. But they get the Dream Coil. They get the kill on a PMA. Creep waves pushing in mid and bottom. So they need to back off. They can't chase too far. But now they've got this refresh orb that sits in the backpack. Well, he's got this Aegis.
It's 1 minute and 30 seconds without Bristleback. They're not going to be taking the fight. They can still go in after Bristleback is out. Wait out until Aegis is gone. And 3.5 minutes for buyback on Huerta to come off cooldown.
Got the juice. Looking for a refresher of his own. He's now sitting at that level 28. He is just going to sit back and farm while they wait for this Bristleback. Shiva's is being built for Spirit Breaker, but is there anything else for this team that you think helps them in a situation like this for Vici?
Second coil. If you have double refresher on Puck and you have refresher on Huerta, just to keep him in place with the debuff level 25 talent, it's going to be a lot of damage. That's exactly what this Huerta needs. Just keep them in place so that she can deal damage. Shiro, he's being seen. Zayats needs to blink out. No Bristleback for 25. Shiro's kind of all alone. Stampede's at the ready.
As the Arcane Rune working, goes into the Silver Edge, but you're not that safe, as we've talked about previously in this game, just because you're Invis. With the gem on Nyx, with the Nyx sense, you can never be so sure that you are safe in a position like this.
Omni Knight is moving so slow. He sold his boots, got that refresher that you mentioned.
Yeah, those boots were just made for walking, not winning. And he's going to be winning without them if they can get themselves a successful fight here up 22,000.
They're waiting for this timing for ages to run out and knowing that they still have a minute and a half to potentially close out the game if they're keeping track on Muerta's buyback situation.
Shiro very willing to sit forward. And he's 2 minutes shy and 2,000 gold of having that buyback. But him, as well as Centaur and Spirit Breaker, all lack the buyback, and now that Aegis has expired, they found themselves Bach. Bach, he needs to run. He's one of those guys who doesn't have buyback. Gets back up onto the high ground, only has to use the workhorse, doesn't have to commit the full stampede to get out of that one. NAVI kind of waiting for their moment to jump in.
Muerta's damage is going to be insane. Puck didn't commit. No refresher yet for him. He can sell his treads. He can give this gem to someone else, unlock the slot.
Is that the plan for him? He's got to get out there and get those items. Send a courier as far out as he can. They're still continuing to hold the high ground, and that's about it. Where NAVI, they're farming the rest of the map. They've got this Daedalus on Niku, and they get all this gold to the point where pretty much everybody has buyback on the side of NAVI. They're going to go over here and grab this Torm, get themselves some more gold. That's a easy shard now for Riddies.
Finally. 52 minutes in.
Now everybody has buyback on NAVI. Still lacking it on 3 heroes, 30 seconds away from having buyback on everybody for the side of Vici, but they are still out of the base and maybe willing to fight. They can find a pickoff without Omni-Knight being there. That might be an opportunity for them to go, but they're going to show Shiro, and Zayat's going to move forward a little bit, not finding himself an opportunity to make that blank and go in.
So many saves. This Centaur Stampede, workhorse that has been used so many times to be able to bail people out of trouble.
And now 4, 3, 2, 1, 10 buybacks. So everybody's got buyback. And now it does feel as though this 25,000 net worth lead, yeah, it exists, but it's not the full story of what we're seeing. And they're, oh, PMA, he's holding onto a block of cheese. So in stealing that banner and cheese on the last row, she gives him this opportunity. Shiro's just dead. Hey, he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, that's the damage coming out from Omni-Knight. He blinks in and just evaporated him.
Sweet Stampede, they're going to go. They haven't committed the buyback from Shiro, but they drop down the Dream Coil. It's doing no damage to Got the Juice. Chaotic Offering committed. People is there. Blink forward, XM. He's going to be silenced for the moment, and they'll buy back on Shiro. They're going to defend. They can't give up the Mega Creeps, but the Golem's going to be killed off planet. It's going to be forward. PMA on the run back. Keep at least one Rax alive. But they bought back on Shiro, and that might mean that they need to commit to the next Roche. We'll see what the extra timer ends up being. Not that they know, and not that they're able to really be the ones who dictate who goes for Roche anyway. And it's
almost
another
full 3 minutes.
another one. That's 3 in a row.
Niku dealing the damage. They do have Glyph available.
Nullifier thrown forward, but does save the half Rax.
Seems like they're gonna wait it out. Slow siege. Use repel on Niku. He blinks in. His BKB coming off cooldown as well in 25 seconds. Wind Waker on Riddies, potentially to save him if necessary, even though there is Nullifier available. Let's see how they approach it. Repel, 5-second cooldown. Zayat's in a good spot.
Speaking of Zayat's, he's almost level 25, so is Riddies. This is a huge lead now for NAVI in both experience and net worth. Lincoln's pop, Spike Carapace. Hex hits XM in trouble. Stampede's going to be committed. They go to the Supernova as well as the Sunray. They've got the banner down. They go to get the damage out on a PMA, but he's also got that pocket cheese. Niku with the Raptor dance. Upheaval's down. XM's already dead. He doesn't have buyback. He does not have buyback. He's dead for 100 seconds. They're trying to get the damage up, and they only get Zaz. They almost got themselves PMA, but they're going to go and try and get the chase on and got the juice. The charge is on. The BKB is popped. The charge is not going to be successful. It's a double kill here as PMA is finally going to die. They get the kill out of Niku. They'll take out Innocence. They're going to buy back on Niku. PMA as well as the rest. Buckets up dead. They're trying to go Shiro cut for 2 minutes. Nullifire's going to be out. I got the juice, but he is still alive with a little bit of health. Planet chased back by PMA. Box here. XM finally has the buyback. He'll use that as well, but it's going to be 5v4 without your damage dealer on the side of Vici, now up against Mega Creeps.
You don't have enough. Without your carry, there's just not enough. They bought back pretty much on everybody on side of Navi. Omni Knight, he did not die. He has 10,000 gold saved up, buying onto Moonshard. They want to check the Roche. They want to see what's happening inside the pit. 95 seconds without Muerta. Glyph still available for Radiant side, but they are playing against Mega Creeps.
If they wait for this Roche, it's potentially a blessing in disguise for Vici.
Potentially, yeah. I think Navi needs to go.
Oof. That level 25 upgrade here for the Nyx Assassin with the 600 Mind Flare radius, showing its pretty head.
60 seconds.
They're not.
Got the juice. Is still sitting inside the pit. Now he's starting to
Yeah, now
TP.
he's moving over. TPing from Roche to the outpost nearby, but he knows how slow he is.
He has no boots, yeah.
Yeah. 50 seconds, a full minute. Bach, he's going to be caught outside the base. They go to the Chaotic Offering. They're going to drop it down again. He's got himself the Lotus Orbit, so reflecting a lot here, and he's actually able to walk away and get himself to safety just barely. He pops the Workhorse after the Stampede to make sure that he's able to get back. They'll go for the tier 4s. That's going to be the throne exposed. They do have themselves a Glyph, but they need to be able to get out of the base. They've got the stun. It's going to be a kill on a planet. He's got himself buyback. There's the Glyph getting used. Jump in from Bach. He's got the hoof stomp. Pops the Lincolns. Supernova. These golems just hitting. They need to take them out, but they don't have the damage to do so. XM is dead. That's going to be no puck, and
Why?
that is going to be most likely the series here for Navi as they take out Planet. They will get the kill on a box. Supernova's going to go off, but it's all in jest as they will get the victory for Navi, 2-1 over Vici.
Navi, they get the victory, but the decision making in the end, oof. They